DD214 Gaming Podcast is for mature audiences only. Any videos, music, or entertainment not originating from DD214 Gaming is used and covered under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976, also known as fair use. Opinions expressed are our own and do not represent any DoD or U.S. government entities as a whole. This podcast is for entertainment purposes only. Viewer and listener discretion is advised. You are no longer alone now because we have you.
Bitch, we ain't got no green room.
Trying to
they
get my
official,
green
but they ain't
in
that
the
official.
We don't have a green screen. We're not there yet.
One day.
Good morning. How are you guys doing today?
MayDay with.
Well, I woke
LoreWhore.
up again.
We made it. I
That
didn't think I was
sucked.
gonna make it on time.
Yeah, people ask me fucking how I'm doing, like, you know, like the corner grocery store. I'm always just like, well, I woke up again. You know?
Yeah. So. Oh, I'm fat. What you just call me? Oh, because I didn't hear the Y at the end. All right. No. We don't do that here. We swallow the homies good night in this house. I'm gonna have to update those release forms. Oh my god, you gotta scroll like 8 for 8 years and then you get I agree. But then you forget the one part that says that we own your souls for the next 90 to 120 minutes. I mean, it's all up to this guy up in the corner because, I'm just the other guy that's here to balance it out, so. So I'm the guy. I'm the guy. And what? Hey, and while we're at it, introduce yourselves. Who do we have here today? Yep. Don't traumatize me, please.
But everybody else sucked, and we were like, what if we took video game lore and made it a comedy, and made it something actually worth listening to?
Well, man's like, I'm gonna hold that.
Soundbite. That's my political career right there.
Yeah,
But
well,
yeah.
I bet.
Every YouTube.
Yeah, man.
Brandon, if you have political aspirations, I just want to assure you, in today's day and age, it really doesn't matter what the fuck you say on this podcast. I can assure you, you can still hold public office. Okay, the bar is so astronomically fucking low to hold public office nowadays. Okay, like you can literally just say whatever, and somebody somewhere will probably still fucking vote for you. Just throwing it out there.
No, we always joke on our podcast how I can't have a political career because I don't have a political party anymore. Like, we actually ended up taking we didn't do it live, but we ended up taking personality tests that tell you which political party you're in, and I sent my results to Ken Dog because it was like 50% on every political party, even ones I've never heard of before. Apparently, like, I'm just split across the board, so it's like nobody wants me.
you're like the definition of of a centrist, basically.
Pretty much, man, when you break it down, because like
I don't
there's
know. I don't know that's a bad thing in today's modern world. I don't know if that's a bad thing.
It is because I have no friends.
Why? Whoa, stop right there. Whoa, stop. I want to pump the brakes on that shit real quick. Why don't you have friends because of your political views?
Oh yeah, man. Well, I mean, even in today's era, you have to admit that like most people in life, I shouldn't say on like Facebook and blame social media, but most people in life nowadays, something's changed where it's no longer like your political parties and your political leanings are your own. I feel like most days people really subscribe to like their political party as part of their personality. That's just me. This is what I think. Don't jump in and agree with me all at once.
Crucify you.
I just have to say how unfortunate for those poor souls, and if those are the only types of people that you've been surrounded with, I encourage you to seek shelter elsewhere. Like, I love you, Wayne.
The only religion and government I go with are the Jedi.
No, man.
Jedi? You pick the fucking Jedi?
Of course.
You pick the fucking Jedi?
Great Jedi.
Who wants to be Sith? They're always dying.
What do you mean?
That's because there's only two of them.
No. See, that's where I think the fucking Sith went off the fucking rails. Like, it should have never been just two of them. It should have been an ideal, and it should have been a lot more than just fucking two.
The power of two is the rule. That's the rule.
Yeah, I'm not. Stop. Okay. Hard fucking stop on that. We're not fucking talking about goddamn Star Wars.
It's lore.
Like,
it's lore.
Okay, the wrong people in to not nerd out. We're gonna have nerdgasms all over your podcast.
Let's go back a little bit before the lore part, like, because I know that, like, I know who we have here, and that's my problem. Is like we have like
Jason Gasses.
We have two people. Deshaun, I love you, bro.
Joe Squillini.
I see you, homie. Oh, look, we got a little Squillini sandwich. A little Squillini. I still got that dish named after you, motherfucker. Your last name sounds like a pasta dish. I fucking made one and named it after you, homie. Joe Squillini. Good to see you, brother. See you.
Yo, this man chefing it up. You romancing the old lady with the Italian? You got a little rat in your head that be cooking?
Yo. Oh, you know nothing about my hair, bro. Like, I had the most beautiful fucking hair in the U.S. Army infantry, motherfucker.
No, you made a mistake.
Bro, I was the best.
Fucked up.
I had the fucking best hair in the U.S. Army Infantry from 2017, 18, 19, 20. Handshaking 21 when I ETS'd. 5 years running, U.S. Army Infantry hairstyle champion. I look better than you, and I'm better than
Bro, this
Here
is
at
a
Globo
SEO
Gym.
promo.
Globo Gym.
That's right. That's right, baby. That's what I'm talking about.
So what's the story?
Okay, John, dude, how are you doing, man? We haven't even heard from you yet.
Oh, hey,
how are
listen,
you?
man. I'm just here. Listen, I had, I'm over here just, making sure all the buttons are good, making sure nothing's catching on fire because the last, since we had a recent staff change, it's been, I was actually fucking prepared today. Very prepared.
Were you really? Were you really?
I had my shit on the notepad. I had the buttons up. I have the music going. Ain't nothing freezing, but I'm not taking no risks today, so I'm not.
Went to bed early last night at 2:30 in the morning. Yeah.
Listen. I got my wife into the GTA RP, so we went to sleep pretty late last night.
Dude,
okay?
you got a whole 5 hours of sleep, bro. That is fucking money.
Listen,
That's
I'd be happy if I got 5 minutes. All right, listen. Steve Harvey said there's 24 hours in a day. Why sleep through it? So
That's what I'm saying, dude. That's what I'm saying, man. I'll fucking sleep when I'm goddamn dead, dude.
yeah.
Like I remember sleeping in some of the fucking holes we dug, dude. Like, whatever. I'm not gonna get into all that right now. Me and Branden can talk about that here in a little bit if we want to.
I will say that look at you're talking about digging holes. I was talking to one of our members, Sean Howard, the other day, and we were talking about whoopee blankets and getting naked in the field and having to cuddle each other just to get warm and shit.
Yeah.
Some special forces.
I am
infantry
actually,
stuff, I don't fucking know, but yeah.
I am actually the owner of an extremely, extremely unpopular opinion in the Army, and it actually transcended my when I obviously I started as a mechanic, and then later in my career I changed over to the infantry, and I held this opinion as a mechanic, and I thought it might change. I thought it might change when I went over to the infantry, obviously because the training is a lot different and you're exposed to the elements a lot more, obviously. Not a fan of the whoopee. I think the whoopee is good for fucking one thing and one thing only. I think it's good for fucking covering. It's a real opinion. It's a real ass opinion. I swear to God, I can back this up too. I think the whoopee is worthless outside for anything fucking below 50 degrees. Okay? And I think it's only good for fucking like putting it inside your fucking stuff sack with you on extremely cold nights. I've had that whoopee save my ass on extremely cold nights at Fort Carson, Colorado, where I woke up literally with a fucking small layer of snow over my fucking bag. Okay, that whoopee saved me in the stuff sack. I had it in the stuff sack wrapped around me in my fucking in my sleep system, right? Okay, but outside, just kind of like covering up like a fucking poncho or whatever, that fucking thing is worthless if the temperature is less than 50 degrees. Fucking, unpopular opinion. Unpopular.
Jay, I'd be upset too if the Kansas City Royals were 6th to last too, and the Yankees were number 1 in overall. So I'd be upset too.
Yeah, I saw. So the Yankees are in town right now, and or they were a couple days ago. We had.
And what was the term that you said happened? I want you to say exactly what you said to me. What happened to the Kansas City Royals?
I'm gonna have to scroll because give me a second. It was funny, but it's one of many terms I use when fucking baseball or football teams get shellacked.
I feel bad for you because you work at the stadium and you've probably never seen them win.
I've seen one. I saw them win. I've seen them win one time this year, out of all the games I've either attended or been doing security for.
Maybe it's you.
It's goddamn it, John. What did I say? I say shit like butt fuck with a cat. They got butt fucked with a cactus. They got. Can you give me like the term, term that you're?
The term that you said is that they got their shit pushed in.
Oh, they got their shit pushed in. Yeah, they got their shit pushed in. It was fucking 12-2. It was 12-2, and the game. It was 12-2, and the game got called in the 9th because of rain. So because they went past the fucking 5th inning, the game became official. It was 12-2 in the 9th. Like the game was they got their shit pushed in hard.
Yeah.
Like hard. Like so.
Ball game over. Yankees win. The Yankees win!
You done?
Yeah, we're like 16-5. We're killing it right now. So now let's kind of get into this because I'm so curious. I've been seething at the bit waiting to ask these questions.
Chomping. The correct phrase is chomping at the bit, my friend. I love you,
What?
but chomping at the bit.
Listen, you know me.
It is
you know me.
It's actually champing at the bit.
I know you well enough to I know you well enough to know you don't know your freaking phrases.
Yes. Or my
Hey,
words.
neither do I. It's a
I love
normal
you.
thing.
I love you, John.
Oh, dude, I love you too. I love you too, man.
What are you chomping at the bit for? Let's hear
Okay,
it.
so we got to start from the beginning. How did you guys meet? What brought the idea? What because I have to say it's very I go around and I listen to a lot of podcasts. I listen to a lot of bad ones. I listen to a lot of good ones, but I haven't found one that's about lore. So what brought you to this world?
Ken Dog, I take the lead all the time and talk over you.
Yeah.
I'm gonna let you pitch it. Cause I want to know how you remember us first meeting.
Oh, I wish I would have pulled up the map on Halo. All right, so we got to go back to Halo 3.
It's Valhalla.
Yes, God. So originally, how me and this man met is pure coincidence. Like any Halo 3 lobby. So it's a 5-on-5 Slayer. Immediately, 3 people from our team drop. Match hasn't even started loading, and there are no replacements coming in. So I don't. It was like coincidence. The same time, all 3 drop. I go fuck, and I hear another voice on the mic say the exact same thing. And I'm like, all right, who the hell is this guy? So I think at the time, you wasn't Crimson. You had a different name.
No,
at
it was
the time.
Crimson Down at the time.
It was Crimson Down.
Yeah, Crimson Down at the time. That was my OG name. Because I took
Your
I
OG
took,
like internet name? Crimson Down?
Yeah, because and it was based on
what is
Watership Down.
What is Crimson? Oh, like Watership Down? So
Yeah, because Watership Down is the most depressing story you could ever read, and I was like, I like that, but I don't want to hit it on the head.
I have the book on my shelf like right now. I mean, I can go pick it up and just like bring
I'll
it up.
cry if you read it. Like,
So I got a question though. Is Crimson? So you're going off the Watership Down reference. Is Crimson Down? Is that like so? Like you had your period and
yeah, man. Well, you gotta remember, I was like, what, 13? Like,
so you were having your period.
It hasn't ended, just so you know. It has not ended.
No, I've permanently been writing that PMS my whole life. But yeah, no. So I've changed it. Now I'm Fox of Crimson.
You're right. What?
Fox of Crimson. If you see Fox of Crimson anywhere online, it's me. No matter how faint it
Fox
is.
and Crimson.
Yep.
So now you went from having your period to being a furry.
Yeah, a furry with a period. Yeah, specifically. I want everybody to know that I'm not gonna go into it.
It was at this moment that he knew he fucked up.
Oh man, but I said I was gonna let you handle it.
Yeah,
Kendall. Here I am
please.
cutting you off like usual.
Oh no, because that's gonna make me feel worse. All right, so there's this dog named Crimson Dawn, right? And my gamer tag to this day has always been Lulu Sucks. So there's no like special book. There's nothing special about it. I was like, all the best players have dumb fucking names. So what's the dumbest name I can think of? So me and this man go fuck, and then a 13-year-old PMSing Brandon is like, hey man, we're gonna lose this game, but let's put up a fight. Yo, and I shit you not, like from the books, me and this man have never played together, but we ran the match like a 2-man Spartan 3 headhunter team. So I don't know in Halo 2 if y'all remember that Covenant map with the 2 bases, and then the cave was like no man's land.
Yes.
Nope.
Nope. All right. Well, either way, imagine an alien base in the Himalayas. There's 2 bases, and there's a cave under that interconnects the bases. So me and this man start on the left-hand side. He's rocking a battle rifle, and I'm rocking the alien carbine because I used to have a hard-on for Arbiter. So
Arbiter.
I also Kindog. I just want to let you know I also jerk off to fucking weapons. Like,
yeah.
He's doing it now. He saw the new Army's new rifle, and then he just can't stop.
I've only seen his right hand the whole time, so I'm like, something's up here.
left-handed, bro. I'm left-handed, bro.
Oh, you're disabled too. Let's go.
Count me in. I'm left-handed too.
Yo, Jersey left-handed. It's meant to be. It's meant to
I'm
be.
telling you, man. This was meant to happen.
Yo, but no shit. So me and this man across the map, we're actually taking him down. Like, we're using guerrilla tactics, hit and run. We'll like pop 2 people, go through the base, cut under, and go to the other side. We're like keeping them running. And we were playing competitive. I think this is probably the most competitive me and this man have ever played in our lives.
Well, immediately after we tried out for MLG, back when that was like one thing.
Yo, but no shit. We gave them so much hell that they ran into the cave. They would only play us in the cave because, of course, there's the kill point where if you come out, all guns blazing. But yeah, we put up a fight, and I believe the match ended 25-30.
It's close.
So yeah, we actually pulled the lead. I think at least twice, and we almost won the match. And then after that, the rest is history.
That's special.
Yeah.
And that's how you guys kind of basically met, right?
Yep.
Yeah, no, that was the first interaction we ever had. We didn't meet in person until a couple of years ago. I mean, we knew what each other looked like. We've talked.
I apologize if I missed this part. How long ago was that?
Oh, this is the beginning of Halo
2009,
3.
2008, 2009.
And then you joined the army.
Yeah, I joined the army in 2010.
So you had met Kindog, and then recently after that, or somewhat recently in history after that, you joined the army.
Yep.
So what was So like, tell me, like, take us a little bit. Like, I want to hear. So what was it like for you two being friends while you did your like journey through the army? Like, I really want to hear that, Brandon. I really want to hear that. Like,
I kind of disappeared off the map for what, a year, 2 years.
So to kind of like wrap up where we were at. So legit, we were like playing Halo 3 like we normally would. Like, we would literally hop off
Daily
to go meet our girlfriends, do whatever we were gonna do, and then come back and play games. We'd be like, oh, it's a 30-minute thing. It's an hour thing. I'll be right back. And this is probably the first serious conversation I think as a group we had with Brandon, because ever since that game, Brandon was like playing Halo with my brother, my cousins. We made friends, like mutual friends. Like, this man played Halo with almost my whole family. And Brandon, he came to the chat. He's like, y'all, I'm not really doing nothing with my life. I don't know what to do. And I think I'm going to join the army. Well, just like every Dave Chappelle sketch, if y'all remember the Chip sketch where Chip's about to race the cop, and he's like, I know I should tell him not to do it. And he looks at me, he's like, well, man, shit, you got to race the cop. You got to race the fucking cop. That's legit. I'm like, dog, if you got to join the army, join the fucking army. Do you, dog?
Right. Absolutely.
And that's it.
Just a quick 4-year thing. A quick in and out.
In and out. 20-minute adventure. Oh boy, here I go killing again.
Yeah,
Like,
I gotta say that it's so interesting because like there's people that I still play with now that I've known since even before I was in the army. I play with these Scottish dudes that I've been playing with since 2007, 2008.
God damn.
You know, it's very interesting how gaming friendships tend to be the strongest ones. Because I mean, the long distance friendships, like I'm in New Jersey, Jay's in Kansas City. We honestly don't even speak that much, but we're best of fucking friends. And what brought us together? Video games. You know,
That's right.
That's the only reason why
exactly
why we're here today. So it's so cool to hear. And then look at where you guys are now.
Started a fucking company with this Yahoo.
That's a story in itself.
Yo.
I want to hear about that. Like, what was the genesis of, like, we've told our story on this podcast a few times of how this podcast kind of like originated. What was the genesis of you two kind of playing video games together, but then kind of transitioning to, oh, we're both really, really into like the backstories and shit, and then transitioning from that into, well, let's do a fucking podcast about it. Like tell us a little bit about that.
So I was infantry for 8 years, and then I switched over to recruiting. And for that 3 years of recruiting, we used to have, like, because we believed in setting people up. Like, we were realistic recruiters. Like, we didn't sell people, like, on bullshit. It wasn't like, oh, yeah, man, you're going to go, like, it was like that, those Family Guy commercials for the Army where they're on yachts with chicks and, like, throwing money everywhere? Like, that's how, like, most recruiters are, and that's why recruiters get a bad rap. But me and the coworker, we were like, yo, let's just give it to him straight. Like, let's be those recruiters that other people tell to go see, because they're going to be like, nah, man, that job sucks. You don't want to do that. Like, you don't want to be a shower and laundry specialist, like, ever, you know?
Right.
So we used to have PT with all these soldiers, these future soldiers, to get them ready for it. And we used to do, like, I'm not going to say we broke the rules and gave them real PT to get them ready for basic. But I will say it was pretty hardcore. The other recruiter handled that because he was a master fitness trainer. So obviously that's his lane. I'm not going to pretend to be on the level of that. But then at the end of it, I did the mental training, and then I'd always end it with like some sort of critical thinking exercise or like some sort of speech.
Tell me about I want to hear about, like, I want to hear both. I want to hear what critical exercise thinking or critical thinking exercises you used, and which speeches you gave them. Because
a lot of the speeches I ripped off of
similar when I was an instructor at BLC. So
yeah, you have to.
So I want to hear what you used. I'm curious.
For critical thinking, we always did whatever the current event was. Whatever was going on, and then I would try to make them realize and play devil's advocate for something. So I would take the guy who is obviously so far to the right, and I would make him argue on the opposing side of what his fervent belief is. And my logic was, even though the Army would frown on that, my fervent belief was, in the Army, you're going to meet a million different types of people from a million different ways of life. You need to start getting ready for that kind of alternative thinking and not be opposed to it. You need to be at least understand it. So I would always make them argue with themselves about different shit. But like, man, it could have been anything. Like, we did everything from critical thinking on how like Biden got elected to like anything and everything under the sun. It really just depended. For speeches, I did a lot of bases off JFK and a lot of speeches off of Reagan, and then I kind of tweaked them and modernized them a bit, and changed up a little bit of things, basically in order to keep them motivated and ready to go. Because you got to think, they just had their shit kicked in. They've never worked out in their life. Which Reagan speeches did you use? Oh man, I'd have to pull it up. Which one? Because I don't know the name of any of his.
Well, I'm sorry. Like, what were the kinds of things he was saying? Like, just out of curiosity.
So basically, the big things with him, because you remember he was always into. He was very pro-military. To the point, like, he gave a speech about how America doesn't. I'm gonna butcher it, but one of his most famous ones was how America doesn't specialize in war; they specialize in peace. And in order to stay peaceful, they need to have a big military. He was the epitome of speak softly but carry a big stick. And I kind of wanted to breed that at the same time, because I didn't want them jacked up on adrenaline going and picking fights with like the Air Force recruits next door. Like, so, like, hey man, yeah, it was very much all of his shit, because he was the embodiment. Like, if you meet an infantryman in the Army and an infantryman in the Marines, they're two different types. And I say that because the Army tends to walk with more of a that speaks softly. Like, I don't need to sit here and jack myself off to tell you what I've done and what I've seen. Where the other side of the house is very more rambunctious with their actions. But I always kind of did that to keep that professional level in them, especially because some of them were coming from hard walks of life. Like, I almost got shot at when I recruited one kid, because his dad, I found out after he was gone, found out that the house I tried to walk into when I was already working with him, there was an active meth lab inside of it. So his dad, who was the guy selling the meth, just saw this random dude in a military uniform roll up in a government vehicle and then just start walking into his house. I almost got that day, but I always try to keep that professionalism with them. So Reagan and JFK were the two that I always did, because when I think of presidents, disagree or agree with their politics, whatever, you can't disagree that they were at least professionals in what they did. So absolutely, I would always go with that. But yeah, so it started with that, and then they were like, you need to have a podcast. You need to do this for a living. And I was like, there's no way, because people will catch on. I'm just ripping off JFK and Reagan.
So here's a question, because you did mention in the show that you used to skip work to play video games with Ken. How many times did you do that? And we're talking
In the Army.
Yeah, we're talking
In the Army,
service
Wayner.
time. Yeah.
In the infantry
Army, Wayner.
at that. In the infantry at that. This was before I was a recruiter. This is like what, private first class, Wayner. So I'm still fucking around and finding out. If that gives you an idea, at this point in time, I also caught my company on fire. Like the entire command hallway burnt down. I flooded the basement. It was wild. We'll get into that story another time. But I was the shithead private that you didn't want. Like, I was that guy. I was the kind of guy where I would walk into anything and I would fuck it up. To be honest, like I don't want to come in and be like, "Oh yeah, the military was easy. I had a great time." Like, no, I fucked everything up.
I gotta pause real quick on this. You are an extremely lucid and intelligent individual. How in the fuck were you the fuck up private?
I think culture shock was most of it. Bearing in mind, man, I come from Nowheresville, Missouri, and I got stationed in Washington, D.C. And my dad was great. I had a great father. I loved him to death. But he wasn't around much. He was very sacrificial. He believed in working hard, so that way I would never want anything, which meant because he was working hard, he was a truck driver, a long road truck driver. So his typical trips were from Iowa to California. So I barely saw the man. So I didn't have those hard teachings growing up that a father would usually instill. So I kind of rebelled a lot, to the point where like I actually had chapter paperwork at one point in my career,
Jesus.
put on me. Yeah, man, like that bad of a fuck up.
How old were you when you joined the Army?
I joined right after high school, so 18 fresh.
Okay.
But I fortunately enough, one squad leader was like, "Hey, yo, this guy's a fuck up, but I understand him." And he literally requested me to go to like the prestige squad in the company. For those people who are from there, it's the color squad. And he was like, "Yo, I'm taking him, and I'm gonna fix him." And like what he said, he sat me down when I went over there. He was like, "I'm gonna fix you, deal with it." And I was like, "Yeah, sure, whatever, hobo." And then
I've been the guy on the other side of that, so I know exactly what you're talking about.
But man, he did. He really did. He was the one who managed to make me take those teachings that I would later preach and actually live them. And actually that paperwork, it was never actually filed with JAG, I came to find out. Like the platoon sergeant basically had it ready to go for like the next time I fucked up, just to get rid of me. And then
we definitely do that.
Oh yeah, I found that out when I became a squad leader. Like that's your bread and butter.
It's not bread and butter, man. It's the chain is only as strong as the weakest link.
Facts,
and
dude.
In the infantry, we can't really afford too many weak links. We can afford a weak link here and there. We can't afford too many. You know what I mean? That's the shittiest. Like the infantry. Like one of the biggest differences that I noticed in the infantry versus when I was previously had been a mechanic was in the infantry. Like you could actually get fired from your job. Yep. Like nowhere else pretty much in the Army do you really get fired per se. In the infantry, it can happen like tomorrow. It can happen every fucking day. You get turned
into a fucking paper pusher.
You can lose. You won't get kicked out of the Army, but you're gonna lose your fucking position. You're gonna lose your fucking job. Like, and that's like that in the infantry. That's devastating. Once you make fucking like hard stripe sergeant, that is a devastating like thing in the infantry.
You have to wear that. You have to wear that you weren't good enough to keep that job. And people know. People talk. You know, the infantry's small. Infantry's way small.
Yeah, the army's small. The infantry's even smaller. It's like
infantry. The infantry has the most people in the United States Army by MOS, but when you break it down by post and where the infantry is stationed, the infantry becomes a lot fucking smaller. Like, and everybody knows fucking everybody knows fucking everybody.
Mm-hmm. And like, they will talk. The first thing you do when you find out you have a new platoon sergeant coming in, you find out their name, is you ask somebody who you knew worked with them in a previous post. That is the first thing the infantry does, so that way they know what to get ready for and what his like stickler is.
I've done it.
Yep.
I've had more than a few of those conversations at Fort Carson. Like before I became an instructor, like while I was on the line, I've had more than a few of those conversations. Like,
but Dog. So I thought the infantry was good about it. Recruiting. You can get fired so fast. No, like it is mind blowing. Like yeah, in the
I don't even know
infantry
how
you
you
can get
did it.
fired, but
I don't even know how you did it.
Dude, it was easy for me. I think it's just because I had a terrible recruiter. Like my recruiter was garbage. He basically he was that 1980s car salesman recruiter. Like, you know what I mean? So like he promised me everything under the sun, which I think is another part of why I was a shithead as a private.
Did you get a bonus?
Yeah, $1,000.
It's not a bonus.
Bro,
Yeah, but I have to because it is titled as a bonus. So I don't want the army to come back and be like, according to his records, Sergeant Wayner is a lying piece of shit. Like, you know what I mean?
I need to go on record and state that like I only received a bonus one time, the entire time I was in the army, up to and including like joining.
Oh, shit.
Like,
What was it?
I got a bonus the very last time I fucking reenlisted. I reenlisted in Afghanistan on my last deployment in 2018. I did in fact get a small bonus for that reenlistment. That was the first and only bonus I ever got for either enlisting or reenlisting in the army ever. Like, and that was in 2018 after I joined in 2010, same year as Brandon. So
That's so weird that we went in.
Yeah.
What month did you have your basic training? Like, what was your start date?
I was at Fort Leonard Wood on January 19th, 2010.
Shit. So right before me then.
Yeah, I graduated basic on I think April Fool's Day. I went over.
Wow.
Explains everything. Say no more.
I did AIT. I did AIT also at Fort Leonard Wood. And then when I was finishing AIT and everybody was getting their orders and all excited to see where they're gonna go in the army and like change the world. I'm gonna be a fucking badass.
That's how it is.
I'm gonna fucking turn some fucking wrenches, bitch. Right? Like, I got Fort Leonard Wood. So I stayed at Fort Leonard Wood. And I see the cringe, but like, believe it or not, I shit you not. Fort Leonard Wood probably
Holy
like,
shit.
saved my career, but like gave my career like a shot in the arm. Believe it or not. Like, I shit you not, because being active duty at a training base when there was only one brigade. There was only one brigade of Force Com at Fort Leonard Wood at the time. So I was basically like in a bubble the size of a brigade. And for those of you that aren't familiar with like armyisms or whatever, yeah. So
I've spared
imagine,
you so much.
Jay, they have a word for that. It's called jargon.
so like, okay, let's use Fort Carson for an example. So my last duty station was Fort Carson before I got out. Fort Carson is home of the 4th Infantry Division, okay? Within the 4th Infantry Division are multiple infantry brigades. After the infantry brigades, you have multiple separate brigades and battalions that specialize in different things. So you have like combat air battalion, okay? You have the 10th Special Forces Group, also on Fort Carson, okay? You've got engineers, you've got, different things. So like the entire post revolves around the 4th Infantry Division, but at the brigade level, you're already in a circle like this big in the big picture, okay? Everything outside of our circle at Fort Leonard Wood after I got out of AIT was all training. So we were in this tiny circle. So it was very, very easy to be a big fish in a small pond, even as a mechanic. Believe it or not, even as a fucking just support soldier, pogue, whatever the fuck you want to say. I don't like the word pogue, but you know what? Pogue is a pogue, right? Like, so I'm at the home, Fort Leonard Wood is the home of the engineers. I get attached to engineers, okay? And that kind of kickstarted my career at Fort Leonard Wood, okay? And then later on, as I transitioned and deployed and came home and reclassed and became infantry, but yeah. Brandon, we're leaving something very big out, and that's how you and me met, so like in the middle of all this, in the middle of you and Ken Dog and being a shithead private and hanging out with Ken Dog when you probably should have been doing something fucking else, you know, like for your sergeants. Like you went to, you know, how did we meet? I want to hear your take on how we met, you and me.
I think we first met. It was definitely ALC in what, 2018. There's a 2017, and okay, yeah, because 2018 January is when I went to Alabama. But yeah, I think we met. I can't remember his name anymore, and maybe you will. But the guy who was super into wrestling, and he was teaching me about the head, the face, and the heel. He got kicked out later because he failed land out. But
I don't remember anybody from that school that got kicked out.
Man.
Yeah.
But yeah, first night when we were all drinking on the I don't know what you'd call that, smoking deck. Not like, I don't know what you'd call that little shithole, but I think that's where everybody was first drinking. But you and I didn't interact at all, and then I don't remember our first interaction actually.
I don't remember our first interaction. I remember that you and me and Craig and Behringer clicked up. Basically over. We were there for 45 days straight. So like it was like we were locked down like together at an Army NCO school, you know, for 45 days straight. But the funny part is like you can tell like who knows that like this is just like a fucking a box that's gonna get checked for your career.
Yep.
And take it about as seriously as a box that gets checked. And the people that were like way too fucking like hoorah, fucking hula, fucking high speed, like wanting to fucking like whatever.
Just lead the way for some fucking reason.
I drank a 6-pack of Yingling every fucking night for 45 days straight, and that was the start. Branden can tell you stories about nights that we drank
so much worse.
We drank a lot more than a fucking 6-pack. I drank a 6-pack every fucking night. I treated that like a 45-day vacation to beautiful Fort Benning, Georgia. Okay, like, cause that's what it fucking was. Like, that's what ALC was.
All right, I'm gonna have. Where the fuck is the Reveille?
Réveille-toi!
God
Ici, c'est
damn
les
it.
cités de France, Narvalo!
I had the Reveille. The Reveille's not here. I don't want to hear about fucking Fort Benning. I'm done.
But I agree with you because I walked into it thinking like this was gonna be the hardest thing I've ever done in my career, and then on day one, Actually, I will say, I'm going to say a version of his last name because I need it for the story. But we were in our class, and we were just hanging out, doing our work, whatever. I think machine gun theory or some shit was brought up. So he was like doing like a brief on it. Like the whole first day is basically spent on teaching what not to do.
Especially for all of those of you out there that don't understand necessarily military terminology, there is a class, and we do teach machine gun theory. Okay, we do teach machine gun theory in the fucking infantry. That's
the best way I would describe it is it teaches you how to throw the bullets instead of shooting them. Is the best way I can explain.
Correct. Exactly correct. That's how you shoot. That's how you shoot. It's how you shoot into what we call dead space. So dead space is is a term that we use to describe something that you can't see. And if you are in certain types of positions, or especially elevated positions, you can use the curvature of the fucking bullet at certain distances, okay, to throw your bullets as they curve and fucking start dropping with gravity. And you can make splashes where it is likely that troops will be. This is called machine gun theory. And so for all of you fucking assholes that think infantry guys are just dumb motherfuckers, guess what? A lot of us are really, really fucking smart, and we use fucking things like gravity and the curvature of the fucking earth, okay, and the Coriolis effect to find better ways to kill fucking you. So if you ever meet a guy out on the fucking streets and he says he was fucking infantry, walk the fuck away. Science, bitch. Leave the fuck alone. That guy, I guarantee you that the infantry guy on the fucking street already has his own friends, already fucking knows where he's going. Fucking leave him the fuck alone. I promise you, just leave him the fuck alone.
That's the funniest part, because my wife will ask me if I want to go hang out with people, and I'd be like, I already have enough friends. So, like, I have 3. That's way more than I need. like, I'm thinking of making some cuts, actually. But I realized that ALC, it might have changed since, because I'm sure somebody's going to be all like, ALC is difficult and blah, blah, blah. But I realized it wasn't that difficult when the other instructor walked in, because he cut his class out early. And it was just after Halloween. And the dude was like, yo, dog, I fucked up last night, talking to the other instructor while we're mathing shit. And he's like, why, what happened? He's like, so you know how Debbie has been telling me I need to drink less? And he was like, yeah. He's like, so last night I decided to have just a 12-pack. And I was like, wait, just? And he was like, and then I don't remember a lot, but I remember at one point I was throwing candy at kids in the street, yelling fire for effect. and then this morning on the way here for PT, I was kind of still shaking. So my whole thought process was just keep it between the lines, Schmitty. I was like,
Jesus.
And so
and so keep it between the lines, Schmitty, has been like my call to action for the rest of my life. Like, you don't need to do great. You just need to get there and keep it between the lines.
I got it. Okay, so now we're kind of semi caught up. Like, I want to hear from Kindog. Kindog, what was it like for you dealing with this?
What I was gonna ask. Like, while this guy was getting his blue cord, what were you doing?
Yeah.
It's funny, right? And John, something you said earlier about playing with like people like Scottish or Scotland or whatever.
Yeah.
So Branden goes off to the military. I go off to college, and we become Facebook friends where we're not really talking, but like, hey, there are life events going on. Like, oh, here's a like, hey man, hope you're doing good. And surprisingly, we after I graduated is when me and him reconnected. So I think it was about like 4 years, me and this man did not really talk. Like I saw him get married on Facebook. I saw him like doing color guard, flipping flags on Facebook with like no context. I have no idea what he's actually doing. And then I later found out, I was like, oh, wow, there's levels to this, right? But it's funny because when Branden came back into my life, I was kind of just exiting my squad because I used to play with a bunch of Canadians that my brother got cool with playing fighting games. So we used to play Mass Effect 3 and we were Team Canada. I was the transplant from America to kind of help the team out. So we would run Mass Effect, we would run Halo and all that. And the funny thing was me and Branden lost contact for all those years, but it was another Bungie game that brought us together, which was Destiny.
Awesome.
So Destiny,
that's fucking awesome, dude.
Yeah.
That is fucking awesome. Tell me, what was it? Okay, so I want to kind of infuse the previous question, kind of like where you're going with also like tell me about how you kind of like what is your fascination with like lore and like so as you're getting to know Branden's like disappeared into like the army hole, you're still a badass at video games, obviously. What is it about the lore of particular titles that kind of like makes you turn the corner and be like, okay, fuck playing the game. Like, I want to know what this world is like. Like, tell me about what got you into lore. Like, I want to like as you're going through this fucking weaving around Branden's bullshit. You know what I mean? Like,
so this is actually a little bit before Branden. So I don't know if any northern transplant could attest to this. So when we left Jersey, we moved to South Carolina, and the biggest.
You're from Jersey?
I'm originally from New Jersey.
So it's a fucking Jersey thing in this motherfucker today.
Oh yeah, best fucking believe, man. If my man, he's from Union City, so I know he's been to Bergen Line.
Oh,
like,
here we fucking go. Oh, here we fuck.
I married a Jersey girl. Just to add to it, she's from Towson.
Oh my fucking disappointed.
Jersey is in the fucking house today. I'm sorry, Jay. I'm sorry.
Miss Wayner, I love you. I love you, Mrs. Wayner. I still love you. Still Jay. I love you. Love you.
For once, I have now the upper hand in this.
Come on, man, that's the high ground. That's the high ground.
shit. So yeah, man. So keep on going. It is very interesting because so you leave New Jersey, and so because I'm thinking this too. You guys are, so you're from Missouri, right, Brandon?
Yep.
And you're coming from New Jersey, two completely different places. You know, because like, okay, because when I think of Missouri, I mean, me and my family, we took the trip to Kansas City last August to see Jay, and Kansas, you know, that whole ride, you know, cornfields, grass, we don't got that shit over here in the East Coast, you know, and Ken can say that the East Coast, as Jay says, we build up, not out. So
Exactly.
So with that, you're definitely living a different walk of life. So what you know, again, so what was happening? You're playing these games, you're playing with the Canadians, you go to South Carolina.
Right. So the biggest thing with this, just lore in general. So this is actually in 2004. So this is like years before I even heard Brandon's voice. I wasn't coping well with the fact of there are no sidewalks. I can't go anywhere. There's no public transportation. Like, you're stuck in whatever subdivision you live at and somebody has to give you a ride. Because of that, I ended up reading more. So I ended up reading more books about Greek culture, Roman military. I was reading books about myth and legends from across the world. I think I would pull out of the library the Brothers Grimm fairy tales just to see how the stories were written back in the day. Hell, I pulled out Dante's Inferno. No idea what I was getting into. And I think I stopped after getting through hell because I didn't want to read about purgatory and heaven. I'm like, this is what I needed to read. But yeah, it's a combination of that. And I'll be honest, I think I'm pretty bad at video games. But the one video game I always excelled at was Final Fantasy. And the game is nothing but lore.
Which one?
Nothing but lore.
Which one?
He peaked so hard.
Yeah, so it's funny. I started playing 7, and when I started playing, I would rent it and have my brother play it. So this is like pre-Twitch. I'm like living the Twitch era before it becomes a thing. And eventually I drum up the courage to start playing. And I go from playing Final Fantasy 7 to Final Fantasy 8. Like, Final Fantasy was really the only thing I would play.
I have to agree. I started with Final Fantasy 7 also. You know, obviously after the Sega era, you know what, you know, obviously, you know, we all played our Super Nintendos, our Sonic the Hedgehogs and stuff like that. But after that era, really was like Final Fantasy 7. You know, the previous ones were all in these previous generation consoles. And here comes Final Fantasy 7 with a whole... It was the first open world game I think a lot of people like us had played, and it brought in a whole new world to, you know. Oh, I think he may have gotten a phone call.
Oh no, we're good. I'm like my homie's like messaging me. I'm like trying to get it to stop, as well as my phone was actually about to die, so I was about to like just disappear from the pod.
Hey, that's okay. I got something in the meantime. We'll segue real quick. I just want to remind everybody out on our podcast that freaking reading is a better drug than any drug you've ever done. And take it from your freaking old pal, fucking Jay Campbell, dude. Okay, we've had two books mentioned by our two separate guests. I just want to fucking notate that freaking both Watership Down and Dante's Inferno are both on my fucking library here. Wow. And so I want to encourage everybody out there. I don't care if you're a fucking adult. I don't care if you're a fucking kid watching this shit that you shouldn't be fucking watching. So turn it the fuck off right now if you're fucking underage. All right? Reading is fucking magic, and it's a fucking better drug.
That was supposed to change, Brandon.
And it's a better drug for your brain than fucking anything. If you want to be smart, fucking read. The more you read, the smarter you'll be.
So reading's weird to me because when you break it down, it's basically humans staring at a dead tree and hallucinating.
Okay. What's your point? If it fucking...
It's just weird. It's just weird. I'm not saying anything's wrong with it. I'm just saying it's weird. Man, I'm a lore guy. Obviously, I read.
And that's why
it's just weird.
And that's why it's just so interesting because he says Final Fantasy 7. You know, because I didn't play 8 or 9. I went from 7 to 10, and I think I played 11 and 12 after that.
Because I didn't get into it until 10. 10 was what brought me into Final Fantasy.
10 was great, and that was on the PlayStation too.
10 is but 10 is what set the stage. 10 set
I
the
really
stage
need to
for-
see Ken Dog again. I really need to see Ken Dog. I can't do this without seeing his beautiful face. Like I just can't do this right now.
in the event
Oh,
that
there
I
he
drop
is. Look
off,
at
there he is.
There we go.
so
Talk
I
about
have
baby.
So
John,
you-
can we get some fucking applause or something? We got Ken Dog back,
I got
bro.
you. I'm gonna get a heavy one. I'm gonna get you a heavy one.
Let me hear it.
Oh, wait
Get
a
heavy.
minute. That's not.
What?
That's cheers to.
Cheers, love.
Oh wait, wrong cheers. That's from
Cheers.
No, wrong one.
Nope, also wrong
I
one.
think that's from. Is that from a fighting game?
Yep.
That's it.
Let me favorite that one. Whoa, no, I don't need a DMCA.
Oh no, you go back.
So yeah, so Final Fantasy VII opens up this whole new fucking world for you. What's it like for you?
It's weird, right? Because the weirdest thing is to grow up in the 90s in Jersey, and I play JRPGs and I listen to alternative rock. Everybody's out here is like listening to rap. Everybody's like playing like Madden.
So you're definitely a Papa
NBA
Roach and
Live.
Corn fan, right?
I think I'll be honest. Maybe I got like 2-3 Papa Roach songs, but they're always associated with no. Hear me out though. Hear me out. It's always the ones that were in that Jet Li movie where he fights himself and Jason Statham has hair. It's all the Papa Roach songs on that and anything that was on Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2.
Oh, I could tell you those songs right now. The movie that you talk about was the one.
The one, yep.
Which by far is one of the greatest Jet Li movies of all time. I think that for the one that was in Blood Brothers was in Tony Hawk, which is probably the worst Papa Roach song I've ever heard in my life. Which, by the way, guys, if you have Apple Music or Spotify, you gotta check out their new album.
Hey John, can I tell you the worst Papa Roach song I've ever fucking heard in my life?
The one that you haven't heard before?
No, it's pretty much just every time they release a song. Like the last one I heard was I think I need help. I'm like, okay, motherfucker.
Oh yeah, they don't do. Oh no, he's rapping
Holy
again.
shit.
He's rapping
Holy
again.
holy fucking who cut your balls off?
Yeah.
Like go get help, dude.
So
you don't need to fucking make $1 million. You don't need to make $1 million off of fucking 12-year-olds feeling sorry for themselves, bro.
So,
you're like fucking 40. You're like fucking my age. How about you fucking sing about some shit that actually fucking matters now, bro? It's been 20 years. You're not a fucking like teenage emo anymore.
Jay, it's been 20
Like-
years. Listen to their new album. It's different. It's been 20 years.
What the fuck are you talking about? That song.
They just came out with the new album a week ago. They just came out with the new. Well, anyway, so Ken, you're a product. You're a.
fucking 20 years.
So Ken, you're a product of New Jersey.
I got that red picture. Fuck that guy, dude. This dude's been fucking crying his eyes out for fucking 20 years, making money off motherfuckers. Fuck that guy and fuck that band. Fuck him.
I think
no
you're-
offense, but fuck that guy.
So you're a product of alternative rock in New Jersey. I feel that.
Excuse me. I'm gonna pause you real quick. I'm not a fan of bitches, okay? I'm not a fan of bitches. Lane Staley from Alice in Chains, okay, cried his fucking eyes out, but he had the fucking decency to fucking die, okay? Like, all right?
Wow.
Like, don't give me that fucking bullshit. Don't give me that fucking bullshit. Papa Roach has been crying for fucking 20 years, exploiting, fucking like emotionally vulnerable fucking like teenagers and tweens, okay? I don't want to fucking hear that shit. This dude's like 40 years old and his fucking like main demographic is still fucking like 12 to fucking 15. Fuck that cocksucker, dude. Fuck his band. Papa Roach, you fucking suck a dick. Suck a fucking dick. You fucking suck. You're not fucking rock and roll, and your legacy is fucking crying. Your fucking legacy is crying. You're a bitch. Fuck you, dude.
If
No
you
offense,
talk,
I still love you, homie. Fuck Papa Roach. Fuck that motherfucker, dude. Fuck that bitch.
Get
fucking hard.
About Papa Roach the way I feel about Sarah Palmer.
my God, Jay, can we get on with this?
This is how he's been waiting. This is like the word of the day, Pee Wee Herman.
When I asked for a list of things not to bring up, Papa Roach should have been on that list. I'm just throwing it out there. Like, y'all
on.
have to add that. To the
Hang on, I got a whiteboard for this. Hold up.
I think I need help. Well, you should probably fucking seek it because it's been 20 years and you still fucking suck, dude. Like, you're still crying.
There you
Like,
go.
you should probably
I put
seek
it right
it.
here. No Papa Roach.
No Papa Roach.
Underline
that,
it
dude.
twice.
Fuck,
Italicize
I'm so
it,
sorry,
motherfucker.
Ken Dog. I'm so sorry,
You're
homie.
good, man. You were
Oh.
good. You're good. And you know what's the thing? And like to like clarify, it wasn't like I wasn't into rap. It was weird growing up because when I started playing games and I started venturing out, I was playing more of your Tony Hawks. There was this one game on the PlayStation. Very few people are going to remember it. It was called 3 Extreme. You could play as an inline skater, a BMX rider, a skateboarder.
Oh,
If
wow.
you like played on the hard difficulty, you can unlock aliens that they had like hover rollerblades, hover
Reminds me of Writers Republic right now, which I've been trying to tell Jay to check out, which is like Descenders.
Mm-hmm. I think I remember that
You know what
one.
I'm talking about, Jay?
Descenders. I'm playing Descenders right now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so
I
there's
love that game.
So there's a
I love
game,
that game.
There's a game like it called Writers Republic, and you get to choose between, like you said, you get to choose between, skateboarding, snowboarding, biking, skydiving, and stuff like that. That's really interesting. I never heard of that game before.
It was an early PlayStation game. It was an early because
PS1.
I know you PS1. This is PS1 era, and I think you'll know the area if you've been in Jersey. So the block that me and my family lived on in Jersey City happened to be the same block where I don't know if y'all remember that really interesting movie called Ghost Dog.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
Ghost Dog. Ghost
Yeah.
Dog with fucking Forrest. Forrest.
Yeah, Forrest
Forrest
Whitaker. Yeah.
Yeah, I seen that motherfucker. I seen Ghost Dog, dude. I live in the Ghost world. Ken Dog, I live in the Ghost world, homie. You think I didn't? I live in the Ghost world, homie.
Bro, he
Like,
brought it back with that fucking movie. I haven't seen that movie since it came
That's a
out.
bad dude. Anybody
I've never
hasn't
seen
seen Ghost Dog, you need to fucking check that shit out. Forrest Whitaker is the baddest motherfucker on the planet. All right, Samuel fucking Jackson might fucking might lay stake to that claim, but fucking check out your boy Forrest Whitaker. All right, because he ain't no fucking joke. All right, him and his fucking lazy eye fucking whoop ass on fucking cinema, dude. Every movie, every fucking character, every character that dude plays is fucking like spot on, like priceless.
He's been
Every-
in some video games.
Yeah.
Forrest
So
Whitaker's a
keep
badass,
keep
dude.
in
Forrest
mind
Whitaker's-
the movies that he does. It's not always him. He has a twin brother.
He does. It's
Wait,
so,
he does?
Yeah, he
It's
has a
funny you
twin.
say that.
Yeah.
It's so funny you say that because I don't know
Go,
if you guys
Kid Dog,
remember
go.
this scene in Ghost Dog where the two
Fuck yeah.
mobsters are walking by and there's a Chinese food restaurant. That's my fucking block. Literally around the corner from the apartment that we stayed at
That's
is
fucking
the
cool.
Chinese food restaurant, and across the street is the video store that we would get all our video games from.
Well, did you play GTA 4?
Surprisingly, the last GTA I played was 4, and I think the last one I played was the Ballad of Gay Tony. And
Yeah.
I was like, the first time a Dominican main character, I was like, I have to play
Yeah,
it.
and it's so cool because GTA 4 had remnants of our hometown in it, which was really fun to be a part of, to drive through some of the areas in that game and be like, oh shit, like I've walked through there, I've smoked weed there before, I've pissed on that wall before, you know what I mean? Like, and it's in a video game, so I feel your excitement, especially for Jersey, because like Jersey is not on the map like that. All we have is Bon Jovi and Bruce Springsteen, and no one gives a fuck about them anymore. So,
Excuse me, motherfucker. I do. I like fucking Springsteen. Thank you. Like, I own several of his albums. Like, really? Like, you know, I'm a Springsteen fan.
He was the
how do you
boss.
not?
It's the boss, baby.
He is the boss. Okay.
he's not my boss. Not my boss.
Tell me what. So, Ken Dog, I would like to hear what was it like making your transition, moving from a place like Jersey, and then what was the culture shock like?
It's funny because before
Yeah,
we
gentlemen
moved,
in the back.
gentlemen in the back, we gotta talk about Alabama. So it's funny, and thing about Jersey that I learned growing up is everybody hates each other. It's weird to say I grew up in an era where there wasn't too much racism. It's just like everybody hated everyone truly for just existing, for just being there. And, you know, Jersey's a giant mixing pot. So, you know, there's Polish people, Russian people, Indian. So, you know, you're dealing with like Ramadan, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa. So you get so like cultured is the best. You get exposed to all these different cultures.
Festivals are lit here.
Yes. If you can ever get them in to come for the I think it's the parade that Trinidad does.
Okay.
That parade will blow his mind. But man, we get to South Carolina, and I know something's up because when we go into Walmart, they're like, "Oh, hey, how you doing? Welcome to Walmart." I'm like, "Why are you greeting us? People don't talk to each other unless we know each other." Like in the North, it's like you talking to me because you want something. What do you want? And it's a culture shock of like, oh, people are actually friendly, as well as they're also racist. Because it was here that you hear about racism, but here I got to experience it and see it. So it was a culture shock, especially. I'm Dominican and Puerto Rican, so coming here, a lot of people are like, "Yo, are you Black Mexican? Are you Black Colombian?" And then I found out the only Spanish people in the world in 2004 were Mexicans or Colombians. Yeah. So I was like, oh man.
Dude, so obvious. I'm white, obviously, right? But
haven't noticed.
How long?
Due to where I grew up in Arizona, I also grew up in a melting pot, and that's not to say that like racism doesn't exist there, but because of where I grew up, I didn't really fully experience racism or like a racist culture until I joined the Army, and I was 29 years old. And that's no shit. Like it's been a long fucking time since I've ever judged anybody by the color of their skin. Let's put it that way, right? Like we're going fucking back decades, and like cultural differences of like being a child in the 80s and being a teenager in the 90s and growing up. And when you grow up in a melting pot, you're kind of not allowed to really be racist because like you exist amongst everybody. Yeah, like
the rest of the pot will kick you out.
Yeah.
If you want to be racist in a melting pot, you better pick your friends really closely and like keep them very close to the chest, because like it doesn't exist. Racism as far as skin tone, like it really doesn't exist. You know, when you're in the middle of everything, it doesn't exist. Like it's not allowed to exist. The what would you call it? The general population of humanity in that place will expel you. Like you just won't be allowed. You know, like you'll be beyond a pariah. And but I know exactly what Ken is saying, because when you grow up in a melting pot, it's just not a thing. Like you don't really experience what I would call like societal racism. And like I was actually talking to a guy I was working with yesterday about that, because when I moved back to Kansas City, also when I was stationed at Fort Leonard Wood here in Missouri, was one of the first times I ever experienced like societal racism, like institutional racism, like people that were just, that's how they were raised, that's how they came up, that's how their family did things, like whatever the backdrop, the over, you know, the underlying whatever, that's just how they came up. And it's one of those things where it's like, you know, it's wrong, but how do you when people are raised that way, when there's, you know, obviously the answer is always education, right? Like just being educated on shit, right? I was 29 years old as a white man before I literally experienced what I would call institutional racism, and it was when I joined the Army, right? And I was almost fucking 30, and I had read about it, I knew about it, I was definitely fucking educated on it, and I still never experienced it until I was fucking 30, and I'm dying to fucking hear what it was like for you, Ken, like. When you made that transition, you experienced it for the first time. Like, what was that like? Because like I'm a white dude, so I got no fucking point of reference for that shit. I experienced institutional racism in the fucking Army for the first time, just because of the people I was surrounded with and how they were raised. you have color in your skin. And so now you're experiencing it for the first time. Like, what the fuck is that like? What the fuck is that shit like?
It's funny, right? Because it stems from a conversation I think I've had with Brandon, I've had with my brother. It's a case of, like you said, number one, living in a bubble. If you live in this bubble where it's always been normal, you're gonna proceed like, hey, business as usual, right? And I think the biggest thing for me, and I had to come to terms with, is the one thing with Jersey is, you know, if anybody comes at you a specific way, even if you're like a shy kid, because I'm not gonna say I was this hood ass kid that came to South Carolina. I was always a very like reserved and shy kid. But if you came at me and I had to react, then it would come out, right? So anytime, you know, I got called a Mexican or a Blexican, originally I would lash out, and I'm like, yo, don't fucking call me that. I'm Dominican and Puerto Rican, and it's not so much. I don't want to be called a Mexican. There's nothing wrong with it, but with Spanish culture, we take pride in
we do.
Absolutely.
Where
We
we
do.
come from.
I'm Puerto Rican myself, and I feel, you know, I feel that, you know, and coming from the same area, a lot of people don't understand how close Jersey City and that whole Hudson County area is close to New York City. I mean, did you leave prior to 9/11?
No,
you left
I was at
after.
school. We left for South Carolina in 04. Finished 6th grade in Jersey. My brother finished 8th grade, and my sister, I think, was about to start elementary, like real elementary school. We experienced it, man. And the funny thing about, and I think you'll know this school. So I used to go to PS17.
Okay, yep.
And that was another culture shock. Yeah, because down here they don't do PSs.
I used to go. Yeah, I used to go to PS. I used to go to PS27.
I think
It was right. It was right on. It was right on Kennedy Boulevard, and yeah.
I think.
Yeah. So we were. You know, that is another thing. That is.
This is gonna segue really well eventually, like into my weekend review, because I'm looking forward to hearing more about Ken Dog's kind of transition. Brandon, can you tell us? So as you and Ken are playing video games and gaming together and doing X, Y, and Z, tell me more about, like, so how did you guys, like, when you guys decided to do a lore podcast and you both realized you're both kind of like heavy into that stuff, like, tell me about it.
So, I mean, it came up. I had just getting out of the Army. I was smart when I got out. I'd saved up a year's wages to BAH, BAS, like everything, like a year's wages I had in the bank. So I didn't have to work for a year, at least a minimum of a year. And once you realize how much frivolous shit you spend money on, like it's probably gonna be more than that. But so my whole goal was I was gonna be a stay-at-home dad and raise my son, because how many fathers have that experience where you get to like raise your child, not have to like hand them off to daycare, like have an actual father influence on them. So I did that, and then, man, I'm not gonna say I got bored, but I did miss that production value you get from the military. So I decided I was gonna go ahead and do this podcast, and I went up to Ken Dog. I was like, hey brother, I'm doing this. I'd like you to be a part of it because our personality meshes so well. I think it would take on air. And this motherfucker, I know he's having a little difficulties right now, but this dude, he looks at me and goes, nah, man, I'm trying to get this promotion at work. I got to take this test I got to study for. Hit me up in a month and then we'll redo it. And we always joke about it because he fucked up that test, so he didn't get that promotion.
Oh, shit.
So I always give him shit. It's like, where'd that bring you? Right here back to me. And so we did it, man. And we really don't know what to do with it. And I say that in the best way possible because it does have a nice fan base. You know what I mean? Like, I do think the way we have things with some tweaks, it can be something super successful, because while it is a niche audience, they are a very dedicated audience.
Wow,
And,
that sounds like fucking juggalos to me. Like,
again,
ICP never has to fucking work again, and I just want to let everybody know that they still exist. They're still putting out music, and all of you fucking assholes in the fucking 90s and early 2000s that said fucking ICP fucking sucked, I hope you fucking think they still suck. Guess what? Your fucking favorite artists from the fucking 90s and early 2000s probably aren't fucking putting out any new music. ICP fucking still is. They're still fucking rich. They made it, and fuck you from one juggalo to fucking the whole fucking family, dude. Like, much motherfucking clown love, dude. Much motherfucking clown love, dude, from fucking a 1990s fucking juggalo. Not some fucking like late 2000s, whatever the fuck. I knew ICP. People said ICPs. They're two white dudes from fucking Detroit painting their fucking faces, dude. Like, you're never gonna make it. You fucking suck. Nobody fucking cares. Apparently people cared because they never have to fucking work again a day of their fucking lives. Their fucking families are set the fuck up. They take care. John, calm down. All right. Like, I'm just saying, a niche audience is a niche audience, but you know what? If you find your fucking niche, fucking dig that fucking niche all the way to the fucking core, dude.
You know, that reminds me to like kind of go off that. I know like another artist kind of like ICP, they have a very dedicated fan base. And no. They have like a lot of haters though for some fucking reason. You may have heard of them. They also like really big, but it's from that 90s, early 2000s era. They're called Papa Roach.
What's the fucking niche for that? What's the niche for that? Like fucking like, how do you carry that niche for 20 years? How do you carry that niche?
They carried it for 7 and then they stopped it.
Yeah, and then they looked at the scar tissue of the fucking cuts they fucking made and fucking like took a knife and like reopened the fucking scar tissue. Like, Jesus Christ.
This guy needs a Spotify playlist.
What's their fucking niche? Like Emo's Pizza, the pizza that cuts itself. You know what I mean? Like, Jesus Christ, dude.
Listen, their music does sound like the pizza cuts itself. So, I'm
dude, no, there's literally in Missouri, there's literally a chain of pizza stores called Emo's Pizza, and that's the joke. Like, do you go to Emo's Pizza because it cuts itself? You know what I mean? Like, that's the joke, dude. Like, that's like.
Is that
come on.
okay? Wait a minute. Isn't that controversial?
Okay. Like,
no one has said anything about this pizza place before.
Well, it's Missouri, so nobody really pays that much.
It's Missouri. In Missouri,
if it was like New York or Chicago, people would be up in arms, I'm sure.
Missouri people are very live and let live. Like, yeah. I swear to God, for all of their faults, Missouri people are very live and let live. So like, if you want to do your thing, you might not have any fucking friends, and like you might be completely isolated, but
you can do it.
But the rent is cheap.
You do your thing, right?
Speaking of, while you're there, I need you. My uncle actually owns a brewery in Kansas City. You need to go to called City Barrel, and tell him Branden sent you. His name's Grant.
Say one more time.
My uncle owns a brewery.
What's
in Kansas City.
Your uncle's name?
Grant.
Grant.
Yep.
City
Grant.
Grant City Brewery. Yeah.
Yep.
And yeah, I know your fucking name. Thank you.
Why do we say that? Well, wait a minute. In all culture, all pop culture, it's always and tell them so and so sent you. Like, why do we do that?
I got you. I'm gonna tell him his nephew freaking sucked me off at fucking Fort Benning. Like, freaking.
He'll give you 2 beers.
That's a hot take. That's a hot take.
I'll be like, hey, Grant, can I get a beer? Your nephew sucked me off at ALC in Fort Benning, 2017. Can I get a free beer?
Something to wash it down with.
Do you think he would respond kindly? Like,
I don't know, man, because he's cool, but I don't know if he's veteran humor cool. You know,
he's cool, but I don't know if making like homosexual references to his nephew is.
Yeah, I don't know how cool he'd take it. That he just lost like a bunch of weight. Like, the dude lost like so much weight, so he's like actually fit now. So he might be looking for a reason to try. I don't know.
If he's your uncle, boy, would that be a bad day for Grant. Like, I just got bad news for Grant. Like, oh man,
I don't know.
I will. I'll tell you what, dude. I will actually like real talk. I will check that place out, dude. And like, we'll totally fucking like plus it up on here, dude. Like every chance we get, because that's what we do here. We support the homies here. We fucking swallow homies here. We don't kiss homies. We don't kiss homies. We fucking swallow them. We swallow them whole on this show. Okay, so.
Are you crying? There's no crying. There's no crying in baseball.
You don't cry here, okay? So I just want to so I just want to say I've been listening to your show all fucking week.
Thank you.
I listen. I'm instantly a fan, and especially for a guy like me who can't stand Halo, because I really can't. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I bought an Xbox and I didn't play Halo. I fucking played Forza and fucking Batman up until I was not a Halo guy. Okay, I'm gonna be honest with you. I was not a Halo guy so much that the first Halo game I played was ODST, which to some people they don't like. I actually like the few that because I did go back and I did play Halo 1 and 2, and ODST was pretty cool. I thought, and listening to your show, I'm sitting here and I'm just like, oh shit, do I actually kind of like some of the stories behind Halo? Yes, I do, because there's some interesting things, because we're talking about lore here. So and this is actually like my first part here that I wanted to talk about, is what interests me so much about your show is that you fucking dive into the belly of the beast.
It's rough in there, buddy. I'll tell you that. You know what's fucked up with you saying that you weren't big into the games? We haven't even hit a game yet. We're still that far in the lore that like we are still in comics. Don't get me started on Captain Backhoe looking for a relic in his backyard. Yeah, we're not. So the Silver Timeline. Yeah, thank God we don't ever have to talk about it because it's his own animal. We're talking straight canon.
I'm glad we all agree here that the show is a silver piece of shit.
Well, yeah. Well, but my man, I have a problem. All video game movies and shows always come out like garbage because when they do interviews with the writers always blatantly say they never played any of the games. And it's like, well, why would you, even if you do it that way, why would you not say it? Like why would you say it out loud? What you got there? What's that? It looks pretty.
Dunkeel?
It's a bullet. It's a bullet, and my friend, it's a bullet, and my friend, and one of my fellow, and actually we've had him as a guest on this show. My friend Pablo Martinez. It's a bullet, and he made it into a motherfucking bottle opener.
He made one of those.
And if you guys don't know who Pablo Martinez is, make sure you check him out on the Christmas episode of Forged in Fire.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah, he was a Forged in Fire guest. So yeah, I mean, it's so cool. I mean, learned about what happened on Mars, the war in Brazil, the shit that Germany was doing, all this stuff. I had no.
Isn't that how all stories start, with the shit that Germany was doing?
It's so interesting, all these little things that the game and the lore connects to human history, and what brings a bigger picture. So you're on your 5th Halo episode. About how many 20 more do we have left until you're done with the Halo universe?
We don't know.
What, 40 episodes? Another 40?
I told Brandon when we talked the other day. I said basically, like, you need to make Halo like your season 1, because like you have if you have that many episodes, that's like a whole fucking season, dude. Like that's not like a couple episodes of lore. That's
a lot of shit there.
That's a whole.
We kind of fell into it too, because we knew there was a lot of lore in Halo. Like, we're not going to come in here like, oh yeah, we were experts, we knew everything about Halo because we loved it. Every week I have to fucking study for an episode.
One thing that you guys talked about was the Halo waypoint, which I was for someone who didn't like Halo, I used the Halo waypoint. And there was for the 360, there was a pretty interactive app that came with it, which was fantastic. The website was pretty cool. You got a whole bunch of free shit. I didn't know about the stories that were in there, like the little exclusive stories, which I thought was really cool. It's just you guys really like know everything about it. And I will agree, Reach is the best planet.
No, Harvest is the best one.
Oh, well,
Fuck Reach. Reach is overrated. Reach is overrated. Reach is overrated.
I like Reach. I like Reach. It's pretty and stuff like that. But again, you know, even like me and Jay, we played Halo Infinite for like 3 hours, and then that was that. You know, it's just not there. But you guys intrigue me so much to learn so much about the universe. I got to keep on listening. So you know,
well, and that's what I want to know too. Is like, you're so willing to like go so balls deep into the lore. How many other worlds are out there with all the different games? Fucking, not even games. You could expand that shit to like fucking movies. You could expand that shit to music. There's been concept albums. There's been concept albums in music.
The Weeknd came out with one
that exist
in
the fucking universe.
Man.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
He came out with 2 concept albums.
Jim Carrey plays the DJ on his latest concept album. It's called Dawn.
I'm gonna be real. That's his magnum opus. That is his thriller.
No, I don't think it's bro. Can respectfully disagree. I don't think it's his magnum opus. I think he has better yet to come. How about that?
I'm excited.
Ken, I'm with you. Ken, I'm with you. This was the album. And I remember we spoke about it. But yeah, I man, like, oh, also it's so great how you guys talk about Halo, but you guys have so many outside references that come out of it. You know, something as simple as fucking purified water, to just talking about the biggest things that happen, and it's just so interesting. And all these game references come into pop culture. One of the biggest reveal that I found interesting, I have it right here, is R2-D2 has the highest kill count in Star Wars.
And we're back.
I came to find out. So we have a solid fan base who they only listen to the episodes to see what dumb shit comes out of my mouth. I feel like a lot of our fans are more there for to prove me wrong than they are to hear us out, because I got proven wrong. R2-D2 has the second highest kill count in the Star Wars universe. There is somebody higher than him. Yep, there is somebody higher than him. We will go into it. No, it is a when we get into, it'll be a lore based, because we are doing that video game. Is all I'll say. It'll be a short one, thank God. Like, it won't be fucking 40 episodes.
Yeah.
But no, I was wrong. R2-D2, depending on how you cut the lore, is how I should say it. It's kind of like Halo, where there's the official lore, there's the Bungie lore, there's the Silver Timeline lore, and then there's the Microsoft lore. You gotta kind of piece together what you can. Star Wars is the same way.
Where does Forward Onto Dawn fall into which timeline? Because that was pretty good.
Forward Unto Dawn was solid. It falls under the Bungie side, I think.
Okay.
It's right before Reach, because that series explains how Klowski, the dude who runs the Forward Onto Dawn in Halo 4, that explains his origin. How he was an ODST and how his brother got murked by the Covenant. That explains how he first met the Chief and why he went on to be the captain of Forward Onto Dawn, and then their relationship.
Hey, I apologize to interject. Hey, nerds. Can we segue? Because you guys can talk about that on your podcast.
No, but wait, because I still haven't
even done my fucking weekend review. I mean, I just, I'm just gonna be Jay here and just.
But wait a minute, you said that your weekend review was gonna tie into when we start talking about lore, because I do have the questions to ask about which lores. Well, some lores I have that I want to.
Jesus.
Yeah, because
Jesus.
Yeah, this is major, and you said that you were going to talk about your Westworld 3 thing or Ozark when it comes into lore, because it talks about lore.
Yeah, we didn't do that at the beginning. We kind of just skipped right to the
lore. That's what we agreed to.
LoreWhore.
Yeah, LoreWhores. These guys are fucking whores, dude. Look at them. Look at both of them.
You get us going, man. We can't
stop. just took our podcast right the fuck over.
Well, that's what guests are supposed to do.
Look, we came ready, yo. We're wearing protection. That's how hard we're going right now.
I have a small list here, and I think Jay is gonna agree with some of these titles here on something.
I love you guys. I'm fucking with everybody, dude. Calm down.
This is the character of Jay. That's the character.
Right, baby.
Okay, so just real quick. I don't know. I'm pretty sure you've gotten these titles before, and I think Jay's gonna agree with some of these. Maybe not so much. I'm gonna start with probably the most ridiculous ones that I would suggest to you. The first one would
Actually, let's pull up our list and I'll add them to them live.
Okay. Clue.
Even better.
Clue.
Fucking love
Clue.
It. Love it.
Clue has
Like
a
the
lore
movie?
to it. Yeah, the
Fucking John.
board
John,
game
spot
Clue
on.
has a lore to it.
Fucking
Who
John,
murdered
spot
Colonel
on.
Mustard?
That's my fucking boy John right there.
All about it.
Murder one.
Clue.
Murder one. Dude, that was
It's a
murder
game.
one right there. With a fucking sniper bullet from like fucking 1,000 meters away, dude.
Yeah.
You just got killed. You just got killed from a click, dude. The lore of Clue.
Clue.
Holy shit.
So another one that's
That might
very
be
interesting
fun.
because I think there might be two different sides to this, and I'm talking about like with Call of Duty, because you have the Black Ops timeline and then you have the Modern Warfare timeline, which are heavy lores. I know Jay likes the Modern Warfare timeline a lot.
I do.
And with Modern Warfare 2 coming out this year.
When I played Modern Warfare for the first time, that was the first-person shooter that I played in like basically like over a decade, and it sucked me in so fast, and like my dick was so hard.
Yeah.
Like it was one of those like, have you ever had an orgasm like that like just like rocked you to your core, where you literally saw the face of God.
And I'm looking
Right?
back at the one that
you
did that
were
to
you
me.
were like you were just like reaching, like you literally like you saw the face of God. And the first when I hadn't. Long story short, I had just returned from like my last deployment. I had just gotten back into playing video games, and about a year later, this fucking video came out. This video game came out, and I was like, "Oh shit!" Like they're actually doing something with video games these days. Like this is fun.
Yeah.
Like oh look, like it like this like when you hear a fucking bullet whistle like over your head in that video game, like when you have your fucking like stupid fucking headphones on or whatever the fuck everybody wears when they play fucking video games these days, like when you hear a fucking bullet go over your head, that's exactly what it sounds like. So for all you kids out there, if you want any fucking like real life training, like you know, if maybe say like you live like close to Ukraine, like of course, like now you know what it fucking sounds like. So yeah, and video games like capture that kind of like that reality to me, and so like that's what got me into fucking playing that goddamn fucking game in the first place until they fucking ruined it and blah blah blah.
Yeah, so there's the Call of Duty lore, which is very powerful. You got the Black Ops lore, like why the fuck does Mason keep on seeing Victor Reznov all the fucking time? You know, so we also have the Destiny lore, which I'm sure is already on your list. And there's probably Cyberpunk, which you guys have spoken about. I forgot which one said that they're obsessed with Johnny Silverhand.
Yeah, it's I think I called him Johnny Silverhand.
Oh, there we go. Yeah. There's also the Doom lore. Doom has a pretty interesting
outstanding lore, especially about that rabbit. Oh, that'd be good for our rabbit continuity, Ken Dog.
Keep it going, just keep pumping it.
Now here's one that now my three favorites I want to hear about are Mass Effect, the Mass Effect lore.
Yes, that's high on the list.
Ghost Recon.
That's another one without question.
You know, the Ghost Recon, right now they're on a pause right now. They're not going to be making a game for a little while, which, you know, I get it, you know, Ghost Recon, but the one lore, and listen, I'm a slut for this world. If I could live, to me, it's the perfect apocalypse, the Fallout lore.
Okay, thank God. I thought you were going to say Cuphead.
You know, Fallout.
I heard you on a tangent about Cuphead on one of your episodes. I was like, My man's got me wanting to do Cuphead. like,
Listen,
you
Cuphead.
had me
Listen,
convinced to do that next.
Cuphead is very fucking interesting. I don't know too much about the lore on there, but there is some kind of lore. But yeah, man, those are those are some of the ones that I'd love to hear. I'm sure Jay, is there a story that you want to know about, like a background that games that you've played?
There's gonna be several.
We got time.
Let's hear it. Yeah.
Oh, we always got time. There's always time until there's no more time,
Yeah,
right?
well, Jay, you notice I'm not rushing us today.
Dude, I love you for that. I love you so much for that. Like,
I got the day off tomorrow, homie.
This is like,
we could do this
for
for the
your
next 8
great
hours.
He's not
for
rushing
any of
us.
our regular viewers, this is John calling Jay's bluff. And so now here we sit, basking in the warmth of freaking like just
Of
good
lore
energy.
whores.
Lore whores. Yeah.
So yeah,
So,
I need to pick your brain because I need to know. 'Cause I
There's
don't know.
there's quite a few. There's quite a few like worlds
Give
I
us a
would
few.
love to explore.
Lay it on us. Lay it on us.
Yeah, man.
So
You
there's
should see our list. Our list is like 100 long.
Oh shit.
so one of
Doing this a long time.
So one of my favorite authors is a guy that is what you would call probably like well known in some circles and completely unknown to like the majority of like everyone. And his
L.
name
Ron
is-
Hubbard.
No, nice try. No, nice try. Although to be fair, there is some science fiction involved in this guy, one of my favorite authors. No, his name is Robert Anton Wilson. He co-authored a trilogy of books called the Illuminatus trilogy. And if you can get through that book, I highly recommend it. I would love to hear the lore behind that world. And there's a couple. There's certain like TV. There's TV series. There's movies. There's certain movies. What would it be? What would it be like to live in the world of like the Marvel Comics universe as it stands right now? Like with how fucking batshit crazy that's gone. Like you live in New York City and it's been like demolished like 3 times over.
I'm dead. I'm dead.
Oh, by the way, after it's been demolished like 3 times over, there's like a thing called like the snapping or whatever the fuck. I haven't even seen most of these movies. Like I swear to
They're
God,
good, man.
like I'm not
They're
even
good.
joking right now. Like I grew up reading comic books. I have legitimately at this point on this date, like I have not seen the majority of the MCU. I don't need to. I really don't. Like, and I swear to God, dude, like I would love to see like what's it like from a fucking civilian's perspective living in that fucking universe.
Interesting.
You know what I mean?
That
Like,
would be
Jesus
interesting.
Christ. Like, I hope you're
Jay,
I hope.
coming up with the ideas.
Well, I mean, think about it. Like if you're gonna pray to any gods, you know what I mean, on this world, I'd be praying to like fucking Captain of fucking America or goddamn Thor or fucking
God,
like
I hate
like
Captain America.
Jesus
that dude's such
Christ,
a
they're like-
poser.
they're the Jesus Christ, they pulled me from fucking rubble like 3 times. You know what I mean? Like
That would be
It's like-
very interesting.
like what would the spiritual life be like in a universe like that? You know, like in a world like where everything just is so fragile immediately, like instantaneously, and also like it's happening multiple times within like a very short span of time. We're talking like what are we talking, like multiple like 9/11s like several times over within like less than 20 years. Like what the fuck would it be like living in that fucking like dog shit world?
You know, that would be a fun miniseries for us to do, is to bring
But at
bring
least
you
we
in
got
as
our
like,
but at least we got our heroes.
yeah, but like
at
we'll
least we
bring
got our
in,
heroes.
that'd be fun, man. Like have
Man, what a
have
fun
people come
place
in
to
and talk
fucking
about their
live in.
favorite part of it, but from the perspective of a civilian, and like we're doing interviews with these people to try to get the heroes banned, like what happened in Captain America versus Iron Man
It's like the boys.
in Civil War. Yeah,
That's
we'll
why-
just do the
that's
boys,
why I love-
but
that's
we'll
why I
be
love the
interviewing
boys.
people.
That's why I love the boys, because you know, like
Yeah,
deep down, they're all just probably pieces of shit like us, dude. And like,
Well,
you know, you can take you can take the trash out of the trailer, dude. You can never take the trailer out of the trash, bro.
well, when
All
you're
right?
masturbating on top of the Chrysler
Like-
building, I mean, I think that says a lot about you.
I'm just saying, bro. I'm just saying, dude. I'm just saying, bro. I'm just saying, dude. Like, what? Like, that's the like. I'm a little bit more pessimistic about lore. You know, although there's a show that me and Nikki have been watching lately. You know, called Westworld, and I'm gonna save my like full season 3 review probably for next week. But I like no shit, like not kind of being a fucking jaded, sarcastic fucking asshole. No shit, I would really love to dive into the lore of the world of, you know, that exists in that TV series. Honestly, like no shit. And the reason for that is it, you know, the first like 3-4 episodes of season 1, you're kind of drawn into where you're at, and where you're at is like a live action simulated video game, but it's simulated personally for you. Okay.
So
And imagine like live action bots, but everything they do and simulate is real human behavior. Okay, and you are now in a video game simulation. This particular one happens to take place in the Wild West era of the American Southwest. Okay, and we'll just start there, right? So I've given my season 1 and season 2 reviews. I'll save season 3 for next week, but kind of going off of that, and kind of going off of like where we've been going, like with some of our conversations and like lore revolving around it. I really want to hear lore about some of these worlds that are very, very close to our own, and possibly like fast approaching. Because like we are like legitimately like what I would say like living in the future. Like I was born in 1981 for context here. I was born in 1981. And so I was a child of the 80s, and I was a teenager in the 90s. I graduated high school in 1999. And a lot of the things and a lot of like science fiction that I read about when I was a child, because I was a big reader, you know, like I'm pulling out the books earlier, right? You know, being a dick. Like a lot of the science fiction I read about as a child, like literally me as a child, I'm 41 years old today, has not only like become like reality, it has like far surpassed like what I thought like in my child's mind like might ever be possible. We might not have fucking flying cars, okay? Like everybody like jerks off like, oh, we're not flying cars. No, we're not flying cars for a fucking reason. It's because fucking like flying fucking something is a big fucking deal, and it takes a lot of fucking like, you know, until it's fully automated. Like, yeah, we're not fucking doing that shit, okay? Like normal human beings should not be allowed to fucking like drive like cars drunk, okay? Like that's like why we don't do that
Maybe
shit.
human beings shouldn't be driving at all, if you ask me.
The technology.
That's none of my business, you know. I'm just saying.
Dude, the technology that we've actually accumulated up to this point has so far surpassed like what my early childhood and like going into like I'd even say like middle school, like early 90s for me. Early 90s, it's gone so far past that at this point that it's almost fun to like war game what our society is going to look like in the next couple of decades.
Fallout.
Fallout would be a good one. I do think Fallout's up
And
there.
so,
'Cause
like,
that one also has like
I'm
we can
just
do
saying,
side
like,
stories with the vaults with it.
Can we not, if we're gonna do lore, can we not kind of like play chess about it? Like, let's pull out the fucking chessboard and war game what life is gonna be like in the next couple decades. You know? And I want to see some fucking lore about some shit like that. Like,
honestly, I'd have to say the Halo lore is the closest to it. Honestly, because we already have it. We already have it replicating now. Like we make the argument, and I think episode 3 or 4, because you know, like big war happens between the extreme left and the extreme right in that series. It's communism versus, I wouldn't say fascism, but it's very much
close. like close-ish.
Yeah. The way actually Ken Dog antiquated it like this, and it was perfect. It is the Proud Boys versus Antifa.
But it's
100%.
But it's the whole fucking world.
Exactly. But the way they have it set up, because we are dealing on worldwide scales, it is that. And bearing in mind, this particular book that all this is written came out, 2007? No, 2010.
No.
It was before all this shit happened. Before those things were even things. Is the point I'm making.
Like pre-predicted, like what The Simpsons has been.
It is very much light. If you read those books, and I can get the set list, because I make it a habit now to list off all the references we use for that episode. I'm gonna get the exact one that's up. Yeah, it just makes it easier, because I was quoting them afterwards. Like, you can find that on page 53 of this book, and it just sounded fucking unauthentic. Like, it sounded shitty. Yeah, it sounded very Parcasty. So I'll find the exact one. But man, I'm telling you, the Halo one, I probably have to put it the closest to. Especially with the new space race that's going to happen in the next 5 years. We've already found planets that are good to go. I say good to go as in, like, scientists believe they can be terraformed. I think it's way closer, minus the Covenant, which they just kind of appeared out of nowhere, so we don't know. But yeah, I don't know, man. I think the Halo one is close.
I'm looking forward to hearing it. Believe it or not, for all of my jaded, cynical assholishness, I have become a very casual fan of your podcast. So
we try to make it easy.
I'm looking forward to continuing listening, and I'm waiting for you guys to jump the shark. And for me to be a jaded, cynical asshole and have to, like, just bail. Okay.
Wait until we get to a certain character that I despise, because I'm gonna be like you about her. I hate her.
I'm just, dude. I'm so just being a dick, dude. Like, no, you believe it. Like, I think what works best for you guys is exactly what works for me and John. Is you guys are actually genuine with each other, and there's a balance. You guys are genuine with each other, and there's a flow between the banter, and you guys actually, you make it flow like more like water, right? And instead of, like, setting up, like, this to this to this to this, you guys are just kind of like, and then it works the way you guys talk to each other, and it's perfect. And I love listening to you guys. Like, I'm like John. See, like, unlike John, like, he listens to you guys when he's walking around Target working. I listen to you guys.
And I'm walking around pushing a shopping cart, shopping for grown-ass people at Target.
Exactly. I listen to you guys in the shower. Like, I'm talking, like, dude, like, I listen while I'm like scrubbing my beautiful ass hair, right? Scrubbing my beautiful ass hair. By the way,
best in the infantry.
Oh, by the way, I still have the sunglasses on in the shower. The sunglasses stay on, okay, in the shower.
Jay's the kind of guy that eats prime rib in the shower too.
You're goddamn right. Why would you not?
What about smoked brisket? Where we at on that?
I drink shower beer. Why would I not eat prime rib in the shower? Like,
Jay, you said something earlier that I Googled, because I knew I heard it before and I couldn't remember where. That author you said, Robert Anton Wilson.
Yeah. What about him?
It hit me, and I said, where the fuck
him.
do I know him about? He was the dude who wrote Prometheus Rising.
Yeah.
I didn't know he was the one who wrote Prometheus fucking Rising, which is the dude who basically, he's the one who brought cult culture to the mainstream in the 70s, because that's where everybody learned about Schrodinger's cat. That's where everybody learned about Aleister Crowley and his black magic bullshit, the right hand versus the left hand. Like, I knew I heard that somewhere, so thank you for putting that in my brain, because that's something I do want to look into, and I just wanted to say it out loud before I forgot.
Do you want to know what my favorite books by Robert Anton Wilson are that are not the Illuminatus trilogy and fucking Prometheus Rising?
What's that?
Because it's neither one of those.
Because this dude wrote a lot.
He did. He was a prolific writer. It's called the Cosmic Trigger Trilogy. And I hold that. That's my favorite. That's my favorite. The first one, if I had an order that I would read the trilogy, no shit, because the first one was written well before the second and the third. I would read the second and then the third and then the first, because when he wrote these books, the first one was written in like the late 70s, early 80s, I think. And the second, the third happened kind of like during like the Gulf War era ish. And this was like on the cusp and on the verge of like the technology revolution, basically. Like this is like pre-internet. And it was right on the cusp of that. And some of the ideas and things that he talks about in that trilogy, I think are fun to think about. They're very, very fun to think about.
Well, apparently
And
Barnes and Noble's agrees with you because that's on their recommended reading for him before Prometheus Rising.
I would recommend the Cosmic Trigger Trilogy. I own it. And
I would recommend Violence, Speed, Momentum by Dr. Disrespect.
Wait, did he really write a book?
He wrote a
Yeah,
book.
he did.
No fucking
Yes,
way.
he did. He's the man.
I'm already on it. I'm getting it.
He also did the audio book.
No fucking
I would also
way.
I would also recommend a book called The Alphabet of Manliness, like because it's just funny to fucking read because it's so fucking stupidly misogynistic and like shitty, but it's like you cannot help. It's like do you guys remember like that website badassoftheweek.com?
Yeah.
And it's like,
wow,
dude, there's books. The dude has books. Like, and it's like just reading badassoftheweek.com like in book form. So like if you're on a plane and you just want to read about like a random badass, and he does both like real life and fictional characters, and just like fluffs it the fuck up, like just completely like just goes overboard with like his descriptions of like how overtly badass they were. You know what I mean? Like men, women, like droids, like the dude does it all. Like it's like one of those like just like kind of like joke books, you know, but it's like stupidly hilarious. If you ever find yourself fucking lost on a 13-hour flight to fucking Afghanistan, I highly recommend Badass of the Week because it'll pump you up to go to Afghanistan.
Oh.
Again.
Okay.
For the third time.
Well, shit.
But
Well.
Anyways, I'm sorry.
Well, before we get to our news, do you have anything else before we get to our quick news?
Well, I fucking totally fucking missed like my fucking Roadhouse this week. But
Well,
no,
we could do your Roadhouse. You want to do your Roadhouse?
I'll tell you what, John.
Roadhouse.
Wait a minute. Look, there it is. Since
I'll tell you what.
1901.
No, stop. Hold on. Stop.
There it is.
Stop. We hold on. Full stop. We haven't even done our commercial this week. We haven't shouted out any of our sponsors.
We do that at the end.
I gotta take a piss. Why don't we do that now while I take a piss? We'll do our commercial break while I'm taking a piss. Then we'll get to my fucking very brief week in review, and then we'll do our final thought, which I'm pretty sure is it's your turn this week. So
no, it's yours.
Let's do that in that order. How about that?
Yeah, I think it's your thing.
Okay. All right. Fuck it. We'll do it live. We'll do it live.
Fucking do it live, goddammit.
I love you so much. God damn, I love you so much, dude. All right. I'm going to take a piss.
And we'll be right back after this.
Oh shit.
This has been a wild experience.
Aren't you glad you came?
Oh, dude, no.
what I'm actually looking forward to? Like when I get ready to like plug Cupid back in. This is Cupid, by the way. This is my original Xbox. Like I got this for Christmas in like 2000 something dark side.
Does that still work?
Yeah, I'm getting ready to plug her back in. Do you want to know what I'm actually looking forward to the most? Like plugging her back in?
Fusion Frenzy, aren't you?
Yo. No. I got. Do you know what I use this Xbox for the most? I have music on this.
Oh, yep.
This man fucking gets it. This man
fucking
gets it.
I have a whole catalog of music, and it's fucking titled and labeled on this Xbox right here. And I'm definitely getting. I just haven't plugged it in yet. I'm waiting for the right day. I know what this Xbox has, dude. Like this Xbox has just like a treasure trove.
Yep.
Of shit on
Bangers.
it, and like
Bangers.
I'm waiting
get a
like
selfie from Jay crying.
John, check it out. John. I got out of the army. I ETS in October, right? I moved back to my birthplace. In December. I got the job doing Roadhouse in February. In March, I found out some stuff about my origins, you know, because I was adopted, you know, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, and through the miracle of like DNA research, like I found out like my origins in March, right? And I'm like living this like fantabulous dream that would like not exist right now if it wasn't for my queen, man, like my beautiful girlfriend Nikki. And like I would not have anything I have right now if it wasn't for her. Like my whole direction in life changed the day I met her, because I came down on drill orders and I was approaching the end of my contract, and I started doing the math, and I realized I wasn't going to be able to make it. And I realized my life as it stood was not conducive with the active duty Army, and especially would not be conducive to be a drill sergeant, trying to raise two beautiful daughters, right? And if I was going to do that and have any way of surviving doing that, I wouldn't be able to be in the Army anymore. So I signed a deck statement. And right around the time I signed that deck statement is right around the time I met Nikki. And it's hard to describe, like, when you like pre-plan getting out of the Army, like there's certain things like you have to do, and you have to know like kind of like which direction you're going to shoot, because like once like that date hits and once like the last paycheck clears, like you got to have something going on that date or by that date. Like Brandon said, he saved up a year's wages, right? Like that's a smart plan, right? And my direction diverted so heavily when I met Nikki that like I wouldn't be able to do any of this without her, and none of this would have happened without her. And so like it's a testament to what happens when you bring in people in your tribe, you know, and you allow people inside your tribe, and how different life can be when one small thing, meeting one person at one particular moment in time, can completely reshape and change the entire outcome of your destiny, right? And by the way, Robert Anton Wilson goes into this in his books. Just want to let you guys know. So it's all out there.
Yeah, I'm gonna do some rereading.
I think you should.
I haven't read that since I was a child.
I think you should. So, long story short, last night.
Are you doing your Roadhouse?
Yeah, last night I got to do some Roadhouse. And I went and saw this guy Morgan Wallen. And apparently this dude's like, he's a big country guy. also very controversial. And part of his controversy is a couple of years ago on social media, and I do need to put this out. A couple of years ago on social media, he was filmed like using the N-word, right? And kind of casually.
Oh.
I scoped his Wikipedia, and since that time, what he has done, like he was basically like disqualified from like receiving awards from like country music that year, and he's still kind of like, obviously he apologized. He has donated proceeds of certain portions of like I think albums to like the NAACP and stuff like that. Like the dude obviously recognized like, yeah, I fucked up. Like probably like felt a little bit too close to home, right? Like we're you know, he got too comfortable, right? Like mistakes get made with speech, do they not? And I'm not. I want to make sure in no way that anybody thinks like I'm not justifying the use of the N-word or any other slur. You know, like there's the F word in the gay community. I'm not justifying the use of any of these words ever. But this dude was definitely like handed like penalties by like social media and the world. He is still like up to like a couple months ago. I just scoped his Wikipedia. Up to a couple months ago, people are still protesting him. You know, like just by virtue of like whatever, right? Well, I did I did security for his concert last night in Kansas City, Missouri. Okay, so and not only did I do his concert, by virtue of like whatever, like I was on the barrier, which means like I was stage side. Okay, so this was at the T-Mobile Sprint Center in Kansas City, Missouri, and this was not the first time I've worked that venue, but this is the first time I've seen like what I would call like an entirely packed house. It was sold out. It was sold the fuck out. Okay, and what I liked about it was there was a lot of energy, and the crowd loved this guy. Like as far as like they knew the entire crowd knew every word of every song this dude played. And I've listened to this guy's music, and his country music is very good. Like it is really, really good. And it's one of those things where you have this dichotomy of, we have this thing in America where we want to punish people for their crimes, right? And then you wonder like where does the punishment and the acknowledgement stop? And where does the allowance for another foot to go forward come in? So I will tell you just my experience of being at the barrier, literally at the barrier stage side, watching this concert last night. By the way, like, you know, the first time I was exposed to this guy's music was in a TV show called Yellowstone. I think they played this guy. This guy's got a song called "Cover Me Up." So that's this guy. That's the guy that I saw. So like, I'm not a big country music fan. I wouldn't know a fucking thing about this guy if it wasn't for like Nikki, because she likes him, and the TV show Yellowstone. So this was probably like one of the best concerts I've done security for. Like no shit. Like the energy was so high, and this dude apparently released a double album a couple years ago, and then Corona hit, and then he had the whole debacle with his Freudian slip, you know, with social media, and so people have been waiting to see this dude in tour for like 2 fucking years at this point, probably plus. For the record, I bought Nikki this guy's album because I knew she liked him. It's a double album, and we listen to it. We listen to records sometimes when we have family dinner. Well, we got a record player for Christmas last year, so we played different records. Play like fucking Pink Floyd or goddamn Bruce Springsteen. Fucking New Jersey guys, you fucking assholes. Yeah, we play different records, you know, at different nights at dinner. But we've played this guy's record a couple times. And the first song that really hit me was this song "Cover Me Up." and I heard it on Yellowstone. I didn't know it was him. It was the song that got me, not the goddamn dude. And beautiful song. It's you want a sad country song to fucking cry to? Fucking Cover Me Up, dude. Like, fucking play it. Just press play. Morgan Wallen, Cover Me Up. Just press play and go cry. Especially you fucking infantry grunts out there. Just hit play, motherfuckers. It's okay to cry sometimes, okay? All right? It's okay to cry sometimes. Like, just let it out. Just let it out. All right? That's country shit, right? That's country shit.
Country music?
That's country shit. Yeah, that's country shit. So, being that I'm not a traditional country fan, but I am a fan of certain types of country, I have a couple of observations from the night. One, the crowd by itself made the fucking show what it was. Like, made it fucking amazing. Like, it was fucking awesome. I liked both of the guys that are on tour with him right now. Both of them are pretty good. I actually liked the opener more than I liked there's a guy named Ernest, and I know Ernest is probably big in the country community, and I'm dog shit on country music knowledge right now, so I actually liked the opener more than Ernest, but Ernest was not bad. I just like the opener more. But Morgan Wallen does a style of country that combines no shit, I swear to God, old school country, fucking new school country, fucking hip hop / rap, rock and fucking roll, like the dude kind of like he has this like it's like a 4 or 5 fold, like it's like Voltron, right? And he's doing it all, but it's country. It's country related. It's country centric, obviously. And he does a very good job of that. Like, holy shit, did he put on a good show. I'm not going to I can't dock points for that shit. Like, there was fucking fire. There was fucking tears. There was fucking him fucking interacting with the audience, like the whole thing. The part I want to get to, though, so we can get this shit fucking done and get the fuck out of here. When he played Cover Me Up, which was the song that I originally knew and like pretty much the only song I knew of him, like up to this point, he asked like everybody in the crowd to fucking turn their backlights on their cell phones. And so you got to imagine, like, so Jay is like standing kind of like stage side, like he's like somewhere like back here. Okay. I'm stage side. So I'm in the middle of like the Colosseum. If you can imagine like being like in the Colosseum in Rome, right? Like what it must have been like, yeah, when you're surrounded by like just literal thousands of people. And so he made this little speech and like talked about like certain things that are going on and kind of how he came to like this place where he like wrote this next song and yada yada, right? And he asked everybody to like turn their freaking backlights on. And dude, like, so I'm sitting there doing like the fucking military posture, like just like, but when I saw all the, like, it wasn't just like a few people like in every row. It was like every person in every fucking row, including like the people fucking in the pit area surrounding the stage. When everybody turned their backlight, and they had the lights down in the T-Mobile arena, they had the lights completely down. So when every person in that fucking arena turned their lights on, the entire place was fucking lit. And I literally looked over at like like one of my fucking partners, dude, like that was like right next to me, like in the pit area, and like we both like just smiled, dude. Like I was like I couldn't help but break a smile at that motherfucking shit. That was some real shit. When you see what like however many thousands of people can do with just like something that like they can hold in their hands, but they do it together, like that was some shit. And then he fucking went into Cover Me Up. And I'm sitting there like remembering like that was like the song that I liked the first time I fucking heard this. I liked the song the first time I heard it. obviously on the fucking show. And then I asked Nikki about it, and she was like, well, yeah, that's Morgan Wallen, you know, and he's fucking, you know, Nikki's a fan of his music, and like she like kind of like, you know, whatever, yada yada. And so I'm sitting there like, Nikki couldn't be at this show, and I want to say like, dude, tickets to the show were like fucking like $300, and it was a packed house. Like $300 was like probably like close to the minimum, and like the VIP, I don't even want to go into all that shit. Like the dude's hot right now. He's like Garth Brooks in the fucking 90s, right? Basically, like he's that hot. Like he packed the house, you know. So he goes into the song, and I'm sitting there in my fucking security fucking pose, you know, like doing my fucking thing, and I'm sitting there like he's playing the song, and I'm like, you know, like hold it, because like in that moment, all I wanted was for Nikki to be there, and I wish Nick, like I wish she could have seen, and I'm sure there's gonna be videos on YouTube of like what it looked like, but like from where I was standing, it was like, and all I could think about was Nikki. And then I was fucking like vexed between like pulling the fucking security guard posture and like losing my shit because I'm thinking about my lady and how much I love her and I wish she was there, right? You know, and so like I'm just sitting there like fucking like, have you guys have kids like Cloudy with a chance of fucking meatballs or some shit? And like there's like that. There's that fucking cop, and he like pulls his fucking tear back in and shit. He's like, "Get back in there," you know. Like I was like sitting there during this song, like fucking like, all right, bring it down a notch, like, cause like, I'm sitting there, I was getting paid to be there, and my old lady was at home, you know, with my kids, and it like. It was such a beautiful moment, but it also like, all I could think about was her. And so it was just like this moment in space and time where like, I just felt so passionate about like the ones that we love, and like the ones that actually like are surrounding us. We all have a tribe, you know what I'm saying? Like, and you can call it whatever you want, but we all have a tribe. And whatever tribe you belong to, and however many people that encompasses, ultimately it doesn't matter. It's the love that we have and that we share, and it's ultimately like this priceless thing that we call life, that ends so very, very shortly, as it seems so oftentimes. I'm 41 years old, and I've been up and down the block 3 or 4 times. But I can tell you right now that when people are gone, they're kind of gone. And I like to remember the people in my life, and I like to hold on and cherish like these memories that I have. And a lot of those memories are what keep people alive after they've unfortunately like left this earth. And so here on DD214 Gaming Podcast, we like to encourage people to reach out, make a phone call. If you're hurting, call someone. If you're on the receiving end of a phone call, we ask that you pick up your phone. If it's 2:30 in the morning and somebody's drunk dialing you, and it's been a hot minute, it might be annoying, but pick it up. They're not calling for no reason. If you really, really, truly need help, there's a 1-800 number. It's 1-800-273-8255. That's 1-800-273-TALK. That's the National Suicide Hotline. We all love you very, very much. We want to freaking wish all of you another wonderful 168 hours. Like 168 hours. We ask that you come back. Don't worry, John. We're not done yet. Like, I'm just getting the final thought out of the way so I can shut the fuck up. Like, if you are hurting and if you're out there, make a phone call. If you're on the other end, answer it. We love you. I love you. I'm going to shut the fuck up because I'm done talking for the day. And Brandon and Ken Dog and my boy John are going to take us home. Enjoy, gentlemen.
I didn't know we were country roads.
First off, country fucking sucks. Country fucking sucks, and Diamond Rock RP GTA 5M servers here. They wanted this.
Oh yeah.
That
What's
Diamond
this?
Rock wanted that. So to end the show, I just got a couple news here. Oh, let me take out the Roadhouse shit. Since 1901.
We still got to make that 1981.
I know. I gotta add the 80 years. You gotta add the wrinkles. Don't forget.
That's what I'm saying. Like, the devil don't die, dude. The devil don't die, dude.
Yes. All right. So the final news that we got here. First one I got here is that Bethesda. Why is my camera zoomed up on me like that? I gotta move back here. Bethesda's doing a showcase. It looks like they're finally going to reveal Starfield after 73 years of development. Starfield's finally going to be revealed. June 12th, Bethesda Showcase. That's going to be actually a Microsoft panel. Check that out, June 12th. I accidentally deleted all the stuff I had on my whiteboard, so I'm going off the balls here.
There you go. Get it, John. Get
in-
that shit, John.
Wait, so, all right, so we had that.
John, I got a great idea for next week, John. You got to let me control the sounds. Oh, can we do that?
Can your computer handle it?
I'm pretty sure it could.
Can you press a button on the web browser?
I don't know. That sounds awfully fucking hard. Hey, oh man, because I got sounds right now that I wish sounds were playing. Like, maybe I should do the sounds next week, dude. Like, I got this.
Actually X'd out of the sounds. But anyways, the next major news that we have this week, GTA fans are placing actual bets on the game's location. I think it's pretty safe to say that the game is going to be taking place in Miami, but people still think it's going back to Los Angeles. People think it's going to Miami, New York, London, Rio de Janeiro, Boston, Detroit, Las Vegas, Seattle, Paris, Tokyo, and Bovada.
I think people are fucking stupid, and it's pretty much been fucking. It's gonna be Vice City. I'm calling Vice City, and if it's not Vice City, I'll do nothing because I don't give a fuck. But I guarantee it's gonna be fucking Vice City, and everybody that's saying all those other cities are fucking stupid. So
yeah, and then again, guys, while I'm talking about GTA, make sure you come check me out, as my wife and I are the Weasel News anchors for Diamond Rock RP.
There you go.
You know, we have live broadcast on Weasel News. I'm Clean Sanchez. She's Eliza Sanchez. Yeah, and it's clean, not dirty. I'm the clean one. And honestly, my brother, who I just found out his gamer tag is Dirty Sanchez, it just works out.
That does work out. I like that.
And the final major news of this week, Modern Warfare 2 has officially been confirmed. It's coming back. It looks like it's going to be a doozy. Well, Ghost is going to be here. And the funny thing about that is that Ghost was supposed to be in Modern Warfare as a character that you buy, you know, for Warzone and shit. They made the model for it. A couple people hacked the game, was able to get the model of Soap. So we already know what Soap is going to look like in the next game. On top of that, we're probably going to get some of the same games, a couple new ones. We're going to have a new story, but the question is, are us grown men going to have to cry about the death of Simon Ghost Riley after General Shepard kills him, since he was mentioned at the end of the first game? So are we going to see a repeat of this? Are we going to see no Russian again? You know, there's a lot of questions. I don't think we're going to see no Russian again, but you know.
Did you say dead Russians?
No Russian.
Dead
Listen, there were plenty of dead Russians in that level too. So
did you say dead Russians? All I heard there was dead Russians. I like whatever that game is. Fucking sign me up. I'll buy it.
Have you not played Modern Warfare 2 before? The story?
No. Oh, it's the most controversial thing of all the 2000s.
You know what we're gonna have to do, Jay? This is what we're gonna do, Jay, this week. We're gonna do a watch party, okay?
What?
We're gonna watch Modern Warfare 1. We're gonna watch Modern Warfare 2.
What do you mean watch? What do you mean?
We're gonna watch the game. We're gonna watch the game.
What do you mean? Okay.
We're gonna watch it like a movie. I'm gonna go on YouTube.
What, the fucking cutscenes?
No, we're gonna watch the cutscenes. We're gonna watch the asshole play the game.
Okay.
Okay.
I swear to God, I'll do it. I will do it for you. I will do it for you, and I'll do it.
You need to understand what happened in this story, because Modern
I hope
Warfare
this is
1, 2,
worth
and
it.
3. I mean, the third one, the story was fantastic because it ends with a man hanging and another one with a cigar in his mouth. So
okay, for you, this once I'll do it. John, don't waste my time. John,
there's a whole lore to this that you need to understand why this game is coming out.
Oh, we got you covered. We got you covered.
There's a whole lore. Well, guys.
Okay. All right.
Thank you so much for hanging around for Jay's sermons. Brandon and Kenny, Ken Dog, Brandon Wayner, guys, thank you so much for coming. Where can we find you at?
So currently we are only on Spotify. We're not exclusive. We will be expanding in the future, but we're only on episode 5. So we're figuring this thing out. But find us on Spotify under You, Me, and Lore. It is under explicit because of some of the shit we go into. So make sure you have that filter turned on, or else we will not pop up. Found that out the hard way. Thanks, Mom.
Oh shit! I'm gonna have to check that out too. Actually,
I can appreciate you guys recognizing like that you're not for general audiences, right? Like that's
not.
That's a thing.
Zero.
It's just easier rather than marking each episode and like going through it one by one. It's just easier to mark the whole page as explicit because you never know what goofy shit we're gonna say. So it's just way easier that way. But yeah, please find us on Spotify. That's where you can listen to the messages. We also post on what we got. We got Facebook, Twitter, Instagram,
TikTok is coming. I'm waiting to get some software, and then we're gonna go live on YouTube soon. So we'll have the actual episodes on YouTube, as well as double checking what the guidelines tell us what we can and can't say. But we're slowly rolling everything out just because
we're figuring
you
that
guys
out
get it.
episode
We're
by
a two-man
episode.
team.
Yeah, it was just Spotify has the easiest user terms I've ever seen. It's literally bullet pointed. But we fucked up a couple of them, so we had to edit it. But it's literally bullet pointed. First 10 minutes we broke two rules, so we had to go back and edit it. But yeah, no. So come hang out with us. Literally, we are not just two dudes reading lore. I want to make that's the big difference.
That
in
was
our podcast.
That was definitely what I was saying earlier. Like you guys are. It's not just you guys being some boring assholes. Like I legitimately like listen because it's your banter. It's how you guys interact back and forth. Like that's definitely like what makes it work. Because otherwise it would be like I don't give a fuck about Halo, dude.
Yep.
Like I played Halo like on this fucking like brick right here. Okay, like that's the only thing I did, and like I know nothing about it. Like you guys make it interesting enough that like I kind of give a shit when you talk about it. Like
Nope.
Yeah.
Well, he doesn't like us.
For real, the complete 180 right at the
Bet you won't do it.
Oh hell no!
Oh no!
You stay in there, motherfucker. You guys want to see what just happened?
Back to
Yes.
the closet. Careful, John. You're live. Wait, what happened? What happened? See what?
What the fuck?
All I see is the DD2-414. What's happening?
There it is. You see it?
I see out your window. Like, what are we looking at? What
You
happened?
See that thing moving?
What moving? Are you scared?
that bug?
Are you scared of insects?
Insect. That's a fucking wasp.
Oh man, yeah. Oh,
So
don't
So
come
look,
south.
so look at this.
Not
There's a
come
hole. There's a hole
That's-
in my screen, right? A small, dainty little hole, and it found it, and it went right through it.
Oh my God, John. Are you scared? Dude, it's a wasp, dude. Like,
I thought there was a shootout going on outside.
Yeah, for real.
I thought there was an escaped convict. Like, I thought there was all sort. I ran 14 different scenarios through my head. Not one of them included a wasp. One had a dude wearing antenna on his head. I'll say that, but none of them included a wasp.
You know, John, I got your back, yo. I see what a wasp bite to the lip does.
Yo.
It's dangerous. Dangerous.
holy
Oh
shit.
my God.
John, are you good? Are you good?
I think he's dead. The wasp found him.
Are you gonna rebuild?
ladies
Are
and
you going to
gentlemen.
financial recover from this?
Ladies and gentlemen.
Our next episode, John just has like a little card that says "We will rebuild." You know, like
Next episode, you're gonna
Wasp
see a fucking.
2022. Like.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. What a fucked up way to end the show right now. But thank you so much for coming to the show. We'll see you guys next week. You, me, and Lord, thank you for coming.
Thank you,
This
guys.
was a blasty blast. We'll see you guys
It was
next
fun,
week.
man.